everybody, and welcome to Saltmarsh Stories' penultimate episode. After this, there will be one more. Today, our characters are level 15, so we're getting into the big boy games. First of all, I'm going to say a special thank you to all the Greyhawk channel sponsors. We are really grateful for everybody who participates and helps the Greyhawk channel survive. First and foremost, our Patreon supporters and Twitch subscribers. We wouldn't be able to do this without you, so please check out our Patreon. There's a lot of cool extra stuff on there. Definitely worth a look, and thank you for subscribing. Roll20 supports the Greyhawk channel. Roll20 is the world's leading virtual tabletop, and now the Greyhawk channel is officially supported by Roll20. You can try it out for free at roll20.net. I use it personally every couple of weeks for one of my home games, and it's really good. Heroic Maps is our official battle map sponsor. You can check out their library of more than 300 maps on DriveThruRPG, and you can get 15% off tabletop loot. So go to tabletoploot.com and enter Greyhawk in the coupon code box for 15% off your dice order. Thank you so much. I don't have them out at the moment, but Tabletop Loot is one of my favorite places to get dice. And I have a lot of dice, and the Tabletop Loot ones are always in high rotation, so do check it out. Our Patreon supporters and Twitch subscribers can get coupon codes to ruinc.com and Cantrip Candles as well in the private section of our Discord. So maybe chuck us a follow. It's worth your while. That's pretty much all for the supporter thank you. Let's go around and introduce ourselves, since it's been about a month since we've gotten together. I'll start. I'm your DM. I'm Alex. You can find me at AlexCatu on Twitter, and that's pretty much it at the moment. How about we go to Liz?
Hello, I'm Liz Hirsch, also known as Ryu Red Wings all over the internet. You can find me on Twitter at Ryu Red Wings 2. Also literally everywhere else as Ryu Red Wings. And I'm playing Yumi Onyo, our fallen Asmir Barbarian, who's having a bad time.
Yes, our party is not having the best time right now. We will go to Dan.
Hi everyone, I'm Dan. I'm at Scary Dan on Twitter, and I am playing Sam, or Samael, given the events of the last time and what's happened over the last month, the super goth, gloomy, unhappy now elf barbarian.
Amazing. And we will go to Adam.
Hi everyone, I'm Adam. I will be playing Derek Eltorin, our resident druid, and I'm pretty sure that my life is in danger. More than usual.
Fair.
I might be wanted for murder, I'm not sure.
Maybe. And we will go to Amber.
Hi, I'm Amber. I'm playing Vasha Stormsong. I am the Sea Elf Tempest Cleric. And I think that she's probably still in shock over realizing that her longtime friend was actually a murderer.
It's fair. It's a fair response. And we'll go to Sam.
So hi, I'm Samuel, I guess, considering there's another Sam in the group. Now we're just a character. And I can find on Twitter as Warlock, and I'm playing Jada, the Tabaxi rogue, a few levels in Sorcerer, who's been pretty absent in the interim since we last played, ducking in and out with quite often frequency. That makes no sense. Move on before I...
All right, fair. So as we've kind of alluded to in our introductions there, the last session of this game ended a little bit dramatically. Who wants to... Actually, you know what? Everyone roll me a d20. These sessions are technically standalone stories, but we do have a bit of a thread running through it, which is starting to pick up the pace now. So, what did everyone roll there?
13.
13?
19.
19?
13 as well.
Mm-hmm.
11.
11?
20.
20. Right, Yumi, why don't you tell us what happened in our last session and why it was such a dramatic thing to finish on.
Oh boy, do I wanna. So should I do this from Yubi's perspective or just an overall?
Oh, however you like. It is entirely up to you.
Okay, I'll try to do a mix of both. So basically, we went to the festival. It was supposed to be a super duper fun time, and then it turned out to be a super duper not fun time because Yubi found out that her siblings had probably been sold to pirates, and that's bad. And she flipped out, and we found out that Councilman Primewater probably had ties to some pretty terrible people. And so, in trying to basically get more information, either from him or from his household, in the process of trying to get that done, we got to see him be assassinated on a stage during the middle of a speech. And we had to try and chase down the assassin, which we were almost successful in doing, but then we basically just missed the mark as he had a cyanide pill in his mouth and killed himself just as we were able to capture him and find out, hey, this is Anders, the guy who has been giving us our jobs, and it turns out he is not who we thought he was. As a result, Yumi has been having the worst. No, this is not the worst month of her life, but it's pretty darn close. She basically just sort of really isolated herself because she's very close to just thinking, nope, that's it. I'm never finding my younger brother and sister ever again. They're gone forever. I have messed up big time and I can't recover from this. They're gone. They're gone. I can do nothing. So she's just been holed up in her room the past probably month or so, not talking, not eating a lot, not doing much of anything.
Yep, Yumi is bulking with comfort food. So close because it was Anders' butler, Scarin Wave Chaser, who turned out to be the assassin, and which was a fairly significant blow to Varsha, who'd known him pretty much all her life. So, despite having kind of all gone off on your own kind of little sadness sulks over the past few months and trying to keep yourselves together as much as you possibly can, whether it was fate or just a decision that you can't keep going like this, you have come together again at the Saltmarsh docks, potentially to find some work, as work has been a bit difficult for you to find lately. At the docks today, the waves are lapping by your feet. They're choppy. They're driven by a blustery wind rolling in from the sea. The grey sea meets the grey sky on the horizon, and none of the workers on the docks around you are smiling. The mood is dour, and it has been for weeks, despite fishermen hauling in several strong catches. The dual spectres of Councillor Gellin Primewater and Anders Butler, Scarin Wave Chaser, seem to haunt the entire town. Losing a councillor through assassination and finding out that the assassin was the butler of another councillor, it seems to have shaken the town to its core. And since the tragic event, much has been discovered. Despite attempts from the remaining council members to keep things quiet, rumours have been spreading like wildfire. Gellin Primewater's name, first uttered with sad reverence upon his death, is now spat like a curse as tales of his dealings with the nefarious sea princes, circulate Saltmarsh. Jara, we'd already heard a little bit about this rumour before the assassination. Yumi and yourself had managed to figure a little bit of this out. But although you don't make it to Gellin Primewater's residence before other people, you do manage to poke around pretty significantly. You find out that this wasn't just a rumour, this is true. His dealings with the Sea Princes are fact. So none of you are particularly surprised when you hear this rumour circulating at the docks. Worse, though, are the rumours that you hear about your old boss, Anders Skullmore, whose butler turned assassin murdered the councillor. You hear that it was a power grab by an inept politician who couldn't live up to his dead mother's good name. You hear that he too was involved in the Sea Princes. You hear that he was involved in evil magics. You hear he was in the pocket of the king and civil war is looming. All of these things are swirling around Saltmarsh, and try as you might, you can't really verify or disprove any of these rumors. It's some might be true, some might not be. It's just flying around with the kind of typical small town gossip after such a huge event. What's really impacted you, though, is the fact that you killed the assassin, notwithstanding. Your association with Anders has marked you, and work has been difficult to find in Saltmarsh lately. You've kept yourselves afloat through small jobs for remote homesteads and farms, for fishing communities further up and down the coast, but it's beginning to wear thin. Here at the docks, people glance at you, then quickly look away. Your part in the drama has not been forgotten, or it seems for some, forgiven. You are kind of pariahs in this town now. And you are at the docks on a grey day, being shot unpleasant looks from passers-by.
Vasha looks at one of the people that is glaring at her, and she's known him all her life, and she's like, "You know me. Come on." And then she just kind of like looks down. We have to do something about this.
I have found over the years, Yasha, that Yasha, it's sometimes hard to control the opinion of the populace. What is the saying? An individual is smart, a crowd is dumb.
That's fair. It's just frustrating. I grew up here. These people know, they know me, but also I guess I thought I knew Anders or Scarin, but still can't believe that happened.
Many people hide many lies, Yasha. It is not your fault for not seeing past them. Do not blame yourself. Trust me on this. It is no fault of your own.
Thank you for your words, Shara. You've been a help these past few weeks.
You are too kind, Yasha. Perhaps a bit too kind.
Well, what say the rest of you? What should we do?
Well, we have a boat. We can leave.
Derek, I'll get you to make me a perception check.
All right. Let me flex these new perception muscles.
Yes.
Bear with me as I remember how to use D&D Beyond. All right.
That's fair.
Well, I rolled a natural 20, which means it's a 35.
Okay. There are some other rumors that you personally have been hearing that your compatriots may not have. As a seafaring fellow who did choose to go off into the deep dark ocean during your those first few kind of nerve-wracking weeks when you thought you might be a murder suspect, you caught up with a lot of different other seafaring people, fishermen, merchants, out at the outlying islands and then up and down the coast. And it was only once or twice, but you did hear rumors of things that unsettled you, things that reminded you of what brought you to Saltmarsh in the first place, and something that you and your party actually encountered fairly early on in your adventuring career together. Boats that were shorn in half with no crew members surviving. And you only, in the weeks and weeks that you've been out there, you only heard this once or twice, but once or twice is enough.
Yeah. Knowing that, I would, at this point, turn to the group and say, from where we are and what we know, I don't believe we have much chance of turning public opinion in our favor. We need to do something dramatic, something overwhelmingly positive that could turn the tide. I've heard over the course of the past few weeks while I was gone, rumors that continue to make me wary, but I think I might have the forming of a plan.
What rumors have you heard?
Well, much like when we first worked our job for Anders way back at the beginning of all of this, there have been ships that are shorn in half, cleaved down the middle.
Are
That
you?
leads me to believe really only one thing could do this.
Mm,
Something you all know I've seen before, experienced
Mhm.
before, and you all know that I'm not excited about the prospect of meeting it face to face again, but
mhm.
nonetheless, if there's a kraken in the waters outside, then it's going to quickly impact the potential of travel, trade, and the future of the Saltmarsh itself.
Geez, you weren't wrong when you said it was a dramatic solution.
Yeah. Are you seriously suggesting that we go and hunt a kraken?
Yes.
Well, if nothing else, it'll be an entertaining story to tell when people sing of our deaths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm out.
At the mention of the kraken, Vasha's blue skin kind of becomes even more like light blue, and her ears, her elven ears, just kind of wilt. She's like, yeah, that's a bit dramatic, but okay.
I'm open to solutions that are a little less, I would say, intense, but as I said, desperate times call for desperate measures, and if we want to change the tide, something significant's going to have to be done.
You at
All
this
my
point.
puns are intended, thank you.
No puns unintended. Deliberate puns only. At this point, though, you do hear a chuckle from behind you, as a dwarven woman walks up to you. She's the only jovial person on the docks, and she comes up and with a small chuckles. You all do sound a little desperate. Welcome to being an outcast, I suppose. Varsha, you would recognize this individual as Manistrad Copperlocks, one of the remaining councillors in Saltmarsh, and head of the mining contingent that the king sent to Saltmarsh several months ago, probably almost a year ago at this point. Get everyone to make me a history check, because you've been in Saltmarsh for a while now, so this might be something you've picked up.
What did you say her name was?
Her name was Manistrad Copperlocks.
I know nothing. I rolled a 2.
Classic Yumi.
I don't know nothing.
I rolled a 4.
Okay, yeah. You haven't been paying much attention.
You're
No.
7.
I rolled a natural 20 for 21.
That's good.
I'm not
11
smart.
for me.
Well, okay. Jara, as a sneaky person who very much enjoys information, you are aware of who this is also. So Varsha and Jara, you actually recognize this person. Jara, you also know that when she says welcome to the Outcast Club, she is not lying. The dwarves in town, the mining contingent, is not popular. There are a lot of people in Saltmarsh who think that the dwarves are trying to overthrow their traditional way of life and basically ruin the town. Kind of your classic small town, big city divide between the dwarves and the people of Saltmarsh, particularly for those who think the king should stay out of Saltmarsh business. So it's if she says she's an outcast, she's probably not lying. But she stands in front of you now. She's got like burnished copper coloured hair, a very neat 5 o'clock shadow, quite elaborate braids in her hair, and practical but very well made clothing. She's clearly a woman of both means and business.
Yeah, Vasha, excuse me, Vasha, seeing this, woman, she immediately perks up her ears, sit up straight, and she's like, Council Member Kopalax, and then she kind of like elbows who's ever nearest to her.
Ow!
How may we help?
Oh, I was just noticing that you don't seem to be as quite in favor anymore as you used to be. You're no longer trusted in Saltmarsh, are you? Despite your heroic takedown of the Prime Water Assassin, trust around these parts is somewhat fickle, is it not?
I'm sure you're very familiar with that yourself, unfortunately.
And she
What's
taps
my
kind of a
experience
badge on her shoulder that is of a rendered jewel and a pickaxe, and says, you know better than I do, indeed.
My experience, though, trust is so often easily lost. Difficult for you indeed. But that said, Vasha was correct, I suppose, in asking, is there anything that we can do for you, Councilwoman?
There is indeed, and it's nothing so dramatic as hunting down what I honestly believe is a fictional beastie out in the ocean. Sailors tell
Not a
tall
fiction.
tales. Sailors tell tall tales, you know how it is. You're beginning to see why maybe she's rubbed people the wrong way here. But she kind of glosses over it, and dock workers around her are definitely giving her the same kind of unpleasant looks that they've been giving you, almost multiplied. They don't trust you. They actively dislike her, and you're kind of beginning to see why.
We're not with her.
Yeah, you're just like, oh. One of my teams has had to abandon some of our lower shafts, due to attracting the attention of a pod of umber hulks. We are strong, but we are not that strong, and I've heard rumor that monster hunting has been your primary occupation for several weeks now.
Maybe.
I would pay
Hearing that.
handsomely. I'm not entirely sure how things have been going for you since the incident. Oh, but I would be willing to provide 500 gold pieces each if you would dispose of this threat for me. Those lower tunnels have proved quite lucrative, and I'm not interested in leaving them alone.
Can you describe the scale of this threat? For that price, that seems...
Little low.
500 gold each to kill a couple of beasties.
Beasties that you can't clear yourself.
Well, we
Yeah.
probably could, but the losses would be huge.
Well,
The town guard aren't interested. They say that because it's outside the town limits, it's not their problem. And I've thought about hiring in mercenaries, but I'll be damned if I can find any in the region. I don't know why.
You
And
just found 5.
exactly, and I know, Councilwoman, that you are not struggling for money.
And she kind of brushes off her very nice clothes.
You
Well,
think
why
you could
would
dump
we
it up
be? We are very good at what we
say-
do.
What was that you cut out for me?
We were very good at what we do. There is no reason for us to struggle. 500 gold is very generous. Each. I reiterate, each.
Can you bump it up to 800?
Throw me a
I think that would
persuasion
be-
check, Yumi.
No, no, not
Can
me!
You're the one who said it.
I was gonna say Vasha would, when she said like she would be kind of like, can you bump? Because she's right next to me.
Yeah,
she'd be
yeah.
Like, can you bump it up to 800? She'd be like, oh yeah, actually, I think 800 would be quite well.
Okay. I roll it with advantage, given that Vasha is a long-standing member
then-
of this community.
Can I actually like, as she does it, can I just like tap her on the like her side and give her bless, which is a D4.
Yes, you can. Given that you just elbowed her before, it's fine.
Just went,
Yeah,
We've established the closeness here.
get us money. We're
thanks.
poor. Oh,
Because I got three.
with advantage.
Okay, that's better. Let me add that D4. Hey, I'm stacking the cards. Let's see. Persuasion. Alright, so that's 15 plus 2, 17.
Okay, yeah. She looks at you and kind of chuckles a bit, putting her hands in her jerkin pocket. You drive a hard bargain for outcasts, I'll give you that.
Old of you to assume this is my first time.
I like you.
Shut up.
800 gold apiece. To
Should've
clear
asked
out
for
this
1,000.
threat.
I know, I just thought of that. But done.
So Jada's been kind of side-eyeing, having become a bit more suspicious and even closed off even to the others since all that happened. Could I make an insight check, please, DM?
You absolutely can.
Thank you. Let's see, this will be plus 13. So that counts. So 23.
23. This woman is used to driving a hard bargain, but she seems legit. She seems businesslike, and straightforward above everything else. A little bit impatient maybe, but there's nothing in her demeanor that makes you think she's lying to you. She has a problem, she wants it solved, and she's willing to pay for it.
Okay. Jada, in
Can
that
you-
case, I'll just keep quiet and to myself.
Can you describe to us these Umber Hulks?
Ooh, well, the team that was working down there, only 2 or 3 of them managed to come back. But what they told us is that these are large creatures, covered in a tough outer shell, and fearsome jaws. I mean, if it can get through a dwarven hide, then you know they have to be something, right? I did not want to risk any more of my talent down there. These are some of our deeper tunnels, and I worry sometimes that we're maybe getting a little bit close to the point where we may have to cease our operations vertically. Who knows what lies underneath, right? But the deeper we go, the more we find. So I'm not quite ready to abandon these tunnels yet.
How many do you suppose there are? Did the people that come back give you a number, or were they too terrified?
They were attacked by 2, but they said that they heard more. So at least 2.
Joy.
As she's talking to you, and clearly offering you a job at the docks here, you notice that there's kind of been a bit of interest from the people around you, from the dock workers and sailors and merchants, loading and unloading on the docks around you. And as she's kind of finishing this last bit, describing the problem to you, one of the dock workers kind of almost shoves past her, knocking her on the shoulder, and you hear him mutter, give the job to people who deserve it.
Rude.
Well, at the very least, I think I'm interested in going to have a look at what happens down in these deep caves. I've already been underground before. This is an extent. It'd be interesting.
To start.
We do need some money.
Yeah. About that.
You can't say that this will help our reputation any, but
Reputations are fickle and temporary.
That they are, especially in this town.
Well,
So,
I say
can
go for it.
Mhm.
Sorry.
let's.
No, go ahead.
Hey, you go.
I'm in.
I hesitate only because I haven't spent much time underground. I don't know how effective I'll be.
I'm also not really great underground either.
Sam is just buzzing with excitement at the fact that everyone's going to be doing something again after this terrible last month. So, yeah, he's
Well,
in. Definitely.
No time like the present to learn and gain experience. And, like you said, it can't hurt our reputation anymore since it doesn't exist.
Right, I say we
Hopefully.
go for it. In that case, they call an agreement.
Manistrad sticks out her hand, just in general, for anybody.
Sam shakes it excitedly.
She goes, It seems we have a deal. One of my senior professionals will be able to guide you down to the correct tunnels. We would prefer this done sooner rather than later, of course. If there's anything you need to prepare, I would prefer you do it for the rest of today and perhaps meet me at the mines. Do you know where the mines are?
Hmm.
And I'll get. Yeah, I'll probably make either a survival or a history check.
I have no
That's-
idea where they are,
25.
but I'm
That's
really good at
18.
survival.
Mm-hmm.
27.
16.
Amazing, Yumi. Just amazing. Just outstanding.
Just normal. Normal.
most of you are aware that the mines are. Let me just. I have this written down. The mines are east of the town, so you actually have to leave the town limits and walk for maybe 2 or 3 hours to get to where the mines are. They're not in the town themselves, which is why the town guard were reluctant, presumably, to help. But you are aware of where it is, so you won't need her to dispatch a guide for you.
What time of day is it right now?
It's probably fairly early in the morning because there's unloading and loading happening at the docks at the moment. It's quite busy. And you would have come down here expecting or hoping perhaps to find some work from fishermen and merchants.
At a point when Manistrad isn't kind of hovering over us, I'll turn to the group and say,
Oh, she leaves quite briskly. As soon as handshake's done, she's like, "Cool, great, see you tomorrow. Catch you, bye."
well, that's even better, because what I was going to say was it would be more beneficial if we could wait until tomorrow to do this, when we can kind of get some preparation in for the rest of the day. Because
Agreed.
all of my spells need to change.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Perfect.
I have no issue waiting until the day. I saw things I can wrap up in town. Be ready to go for tomorrow.
Yeah, you get the impression with Manistrad that she has hired mercenaries before, she has hired adventurers before, and she's got a plan. She knows how she's going to work that plan.
Before everyone disperses, Yumi's gonna try to get everyone's attention as much as she can, considering she's Yumi. She's not a person who gets people's attention in terms of, people that she likes. She just tries to get everyone's attention, and she just quietly reaches into her pack and holds out what look to be a assortment of carved wooden tokens, about maybe like this big or so. And she just says very quietly, "I made something for all of you. Don't just grab random ones. There's specific ones for each of you. You can use them to cast Locate Person in case we need to find each other." And so she hands Derek. They're all like really nicely carved and polished, like really dark wood. She hands Derek a nicely carved polar bear. She gives
Nice.
Samuel a kingfisher that she's carved, and seems like she's trying to get some paint on there, some blue. And then she hands Vasha a conch shell, a little carved conch shell. And then she hesitates a little bit for Zara because she's trying to figure out that it's stupid. But then she hands it to him anyway, and it's just a carved cat paw. And they all smell really good, like really, really nice cedar.
You are too kind. You shouldn't have. Really, you are too kind. Yes, I've been decided to go take care of. Before I do,
Don't lose it.
I won't. I trust me. I won't. Be on my person safe. I, 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 a quick word for you all. A warning. The people who lie the most, do not trust them. Do not be fooled by outward illusions, outward faces. Just trust me. Do not trust those of us who lie. It will only bring you pain in the end. And you're too kind. You shouldn't have. Not for me. Just
Well, too bad it's yours. Goodbye.
Yes. I will see you all tomorrow. Jara is visibly kind of flustered, not so much in
Aww.
embarrassment,
Yeah.
You
not so much
broke
embarrassment,
Zara.
more there's something weighing on his mind, and Yumi doing that kind of push it over the edge, and he's very awkward right now, and
Oh.
as soon as he can, just ducks away.
Mhm.
That's why she told him just okay. You can leave now. Goodbye.
He
You
just
see,
ducks away, faces to the crowd.
you see Vasha holding hers, and she's like staring at you with like little bit of like tears welling up, and her ears are doing like this little quiver thing. He's like, "Things are so cute," and she's like, "I love this so much." And
So
she's like,
I myself am laughing. Yumi has gone stock still in her eyes and like gone poof, like oh god, what have I done? And she's just sitting stock still, like in shock, like I didn't expect any of this kind of reaction. I just wanted to make sure that if we got separated, nothing stupid would happen, like me and my siblings.
um,
And then she reaches into the same pocket that she pulled the stuff out, and she holds out hers just because she's like, just in case you're worried, I didn't make one for me. I did make one for me, and hers is actually Jara's not gonna know because he ran. It's
No, he'll know. He's watching.
at first you probably think it's just like, oh, she just made herself a circle, but then closer inspection, it's a new moon.
okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's like-
she's like, she just still is like holding hers very like lovingly, and she's just like, "Thank you so much. This means so much. I will always cherish this." And she's like, "You did such a good job with the woodwork. It's beautiful."
Yumi
Can
is
I hug
actually
you?
blush,
I,
which probably looks really interesting because she doesn't blush pink, she blushes like lavender, so her cheeks are turning purple.
And then she like kind of like comes up to you while she's still holding it, and she like puts her head on your like, you're probably a lot taller than she is, so she's like kind of on like your arm, and she's like,
Yeah, you're probably on her elbow.
yeah. And then she like tucks it away in like a safe pouch, and then
Yeah, she's still just like stock still, like just slowly turning more and more lavender. Anyway.
Some feels.
and then like as she's clutching it, she looks over to Derek and she's like, "Isn't this the best?"
You're muted.
You're muted.
Yeah, Zoom yelled at me. Yes, it's pretty awesome. Derek
Can
seems
we-
really glib with it, which is, I would imagine, a little bit upsetting for Yumi. Only like
No.
watches him for a second. When he kind of turns away, she can see kind of from the side that he gets a little bit choked up when he's looking at the thing, and he kind of like pets it and then puts it in a pocket in his cloak.
Ah, hello,
Oh.
Scraticus.
Hello.
Aww.
Yeah, and like you see, despite like in Vasha is still like, she like does this like cute little like stamp, like you know, like when kids are really excited about something, she does this cute little like stamp away, and like she's just like all like giddy and excited, and
This is
just
the
like
best
so.
decision I've ever made in this game.
That's what. What did you say?
I said this is the best decision I've ever made in this game.
The reason, okay, so I'll just explain, like, she doesn't tell you this, but in like Vasha's culture and stuff for sea elves, like they're very family oriented, so when they form close bonds and share gifts, like that, family and ties like that are very treasured. So hearing that your family's been lost, that's something that she takes to great heart, and that when you share this gift and you know, we become closer and closer as friends, like that's something she greatly values. So like exchanging like this, and then we can locate each other, and we're like kind of a family unit. She's just like, and
Oh my goodness.
so in her head she's like, oh my god, tears and stuff. And then yeah, and then like when she was dancing with Jara in the last session, like little moments like that, she's like, we're bonding.
Now you all have physical proof. Yumi does have feelings.
Sam has missed all this like team bonding moment because he's just been so excited by the fact that it's the Kingfisher. He's just been literally like using like dashing up and down the docks, casting prestidigitation and making sort of feathers fly.
It's being
and
dramatic.
zooming backwards and forwards, like a 6-year-old playing a new toy. Just so excited that everyone's back together and doing something, and so appreciative of the bonds. Yeah.
Oh my god, I love this scene. Like you're up and like running up and down the dock, prestidigitation, and Vasha's like stamping like a little kid. Adorable.
And Jara had a brain melt and ran away.
Like, oh no feelings.
Like trying to gather you guys as if you are her siblings. Like, okay, time to stop.
Like, oh no, my toys.
Okay, did you guys want to go get drunk? Is that what we do now, or what are we doing next?
And then Vasha's like going over to Sam, and she's like, look at mine, like showing mine.
Yeah,
By the
we're
way,
having such a
Yumi
kids
is-
bonding moment.
Yeah.
Yumi's purple from like here down now. Like she just doesn't know what to do anymore. She's just like so embarrassed.
Yeah, like you did not expect like this reaction at all. We're like taking it to the nth degree.
She's also never really like experienced people reacting so positively to her besides her siblings. So this is a really like, oh, kind of moment for her.
Jara and Derek, you notice that this kind of display has attracted a bit of attention. And there are people on the docks who are definitely not happy that you're happy. And there's a particular contingent of dock workers who are beginning to approach the party.
Since Jada is already broken off,
Yes.
seeing that he's going to, before they even get to this small group of Yumi, Vasha, Sam, and Derek, he wants to approach them from behind as quietly as he can without them being alerted.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes,
Yes.
I'm not going to make you roll for that because
Yep.
they're dock workers and
25
you've got like a
minutes.
25 stealth.
Going to draw his sword, his saber slightly, and just lean in to one of them and just say, "Oh, my friend, you do not want to interrupt. Trust me, you will find yourself down a dark alley. And then no more. Do not interrupt them, or I will end you.
Make me an
That'd be so
intimidation check
good.
with advantage.
Now be good little boys and wander off." Intimidation.
Meanwhile,
That's
I'm staring
a-
at them.
Yeah.
26.
26. Yeah, they believe you. They believe you, and they kind of
Tell me the truth.
part around the group of you and kind of act as though I was like, oh, I wasn't doing anything. No, wasn't planning anything at all, and disperse along
I
the
love
docks.
that you're like mama bearing, like, don't you make my children upset.
Better than what Yumi's gonna do. She's just gonna flip them off.
Yep. Plans.
And then
I don't
Jada's
care.
just going to blend back into the crowd, away from the sight of the others, just keeping an eye on them.
Hmm.
What Yumi did really has really messed him up, to be honest. He's in a difficult spot right now. And he's going to, and for the rest of the day, he's actually not going to go and do what he was going to do. He's going to keep an eye on the group as best he can,
Okay.
just from the shadow.
Yeah, because it seems like the status of pariah has made it so that people who are now aware that you're getting work from the dwarves, that certainly hasn't helped. And the dock workers don't want to see you hanging out and being happy, basically. And but Jara and Derek, you're the only two kind of aware of this at the moment, given your ridiculously high perceptions.
For the rest of the day as well, Jadra is more than willing to do that again and again, however much he needs to do
Yeah.
it. Let the group have their moment.
Duly noted.
I'll turn to the rest of them and just say, I think it's time for us to leave the docks. We're pretty exposed here, and it seems like all we're going to do is invite problems. Personally, I feel like the best revenge is a life well lived, and I think we should celebrate our newfound wealth with good food, good times, and we can start out fresher than in the morning.
I agree. That sounds good. I am hungry.
So long as someone can pay for my stuff, I have no money left.
I'll pay.
And
Everyone's gonna throw a coin at you. You hear me?
Why do you all keep? I thought you liked me. Why do you all keep hurting me today? You're
I'm
not my
hurting
brother.
you with
What's going on?
love.
Aw.
Okay.
Thanks for the raid, Scrat.
Yes, thank you.
Alright, so you folks head over to one of the taverns in town. I'm gonna say the only tavern where you can still get a drink is the one that Jara has frequented quite a few times, that is known for perhaps hosting some of the more nefarious characters in town, smugglers and the like. Everywhere else, all the more respectable places, you find that you stand up at the bar for a long time and don't really get served. But
Who wants respectable anyway?
yeah, exactly. This place has far more character. It's kind of out on stilts, halfway built into the bay, and it's a bit ramshackle and smells a bit funny. But look, it's got character, and you can still get a drink.
That same smell is here again. Do you know what that is?
Fish?
Blood.
I hope it's fish. But I don't know any fish that smell like that, and I know fish pretty well.
Pretty sure it's blood, but
I also know the smell of blood. I don't know. Maybe it's better that we don't actually. Let's just get some thing to drink.
Can I identify this smell?
Yeah, make me nature or survival.
Can I identify the smell?
You probably
Great.
can. As a level 15 druid, you almost certainly can.
I rolled a 26 survival.
Okay, yeah. No, you know exactly what this smell is, and it's a particular concoction of both blood and vomit. So it's kind of a mix of two. And there is definitely there is kind of a fishy undertone, but that's sort of the entire city. So that's not entirely unusual, but it's kind of this stain of blood and vomit with a little bit of, old beer.
Okay, so I'll, as they're kind of talking and we're ordering drinks and whatever, I'm kind of staring off into space, and then after a few minutes, just kind of out of nowhere, I turn to Vasha and go, "I've got it!
What? Oh, what?
The smell, I've got it."
the blue run again.
I was right, it's fish, but someone ate fish, and then they threw up the fish, and there was blood in it.
Oh.
So that's the smell, for sure.
Was the blood the fish's blood or their blood?
Their
Jimmy
blood.
pushes her ale away.
So we're just drinking here, not eating, right?
That's up to you.
Do you
I
think they
suppose-
washed these glasses?
No.
I'm done.
Look
Yumi
around
just
you.
pushes her stuff away like I'm finished. I'm good.
You know, I'm just gonna pretend I didn't know that. And she just drinks and keeps nibbling.
Strong
Meanwhile, in the
willpower.
corner,
I
Jar is
can
just enjoying his drink.
cure
Yep.
wound.
If I've learned
Fight
anything,
through water.
Remove
If I've learned anything from
poison.
Life at Sea, you eat when there's food and you drink when there's drink.
Yeah, the
Perhaps.
drinking's all good, but you've turned Sam right off the food. Thanks, Derek.
It's not going to be any worse than what you felt a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not really a selling point at this point.
Yeah, no. Why would you say? Why would you compare it to that anyway?
Yeah,
Never
any
mind.
reference to illness, just no. Sam's just like, no.
Yeah. Sam, in fact, and Derek and Sam, who contracted blue rot several months ago, Derek's recovered quite well, and your druidic senses make it a little bit easier for you to cope with. But Sam, yeah, you're getting like flashbacks to being covered in boils and feeling nauseous all the time. So, not a good time.
So you're not going to eat that? Just slide it over to me.
Nope.
More room for beer.
So you folks spend the rest of the day as you see fit. If there was anything you would like to do in particular, do let me know. Spellcasters who can pick their spells every day, you can select appropriate spells for the task you've been given. You
The
don't
only
have to
thing
let me
Sam
know.
wants to check in on is, do we still have any of those blasting beads left from when we went
Um,
uh,
I'd
zombie
say yeah.
diving?
I'd say yeah. You haven't really used them since then, just because the jobs you've been doing haven't been that challenging. There's been a few close calls with monsters and whatnot, but yes, I'd say you do still have probably 3 or 4 of those left.
Yeah,
Was-
I have them, and there's about 7 left. We used, I think, either 3 or 4.
Yeah,
We had 7.
yeah.
We used 2 of them.
You had 7 to start with, so there's
Cool.
5 left. Yeah.
Um, in his corner, keeping an eye on the group, Jara is actually taking out a. I assume it would be kind of like wax treated parchment, so it's a bit slightly waterproof at least.
Yeah, most things in this
And-
town have to be slightly waterproofed.
Having only very recently been taught by the group to read and write, since that was a skill he never really picked up beyond recognizing keywords, he's going to very shakily start writing out something onto this piece of paper, or parchment rather,
Mhm.
just keeping it to himself and correcting himself a lot. And very, I assume it to be very almost like childlike in handwriting, him not being skilled at it yet.
Yes, it's a new
He's gonna
skill.
spend the time either writing this thing out or keeping his eyes on the others.
Duly
Eye
noted.
on
You
considering he has
do
one leg.
notice a few people kind of edging over to start trouble, but you put a stop to it pretty quickly. You are not liked in town anymore, but people are wary of you because you've still been working and you've definitely achieved some things in the meantime. So people are wary enough of you that it's not too difficult to dissuade them from causing open trouble.
Yeah, wonderful.
The only thing I need to do is spend maybe an hour or two just picking up a few spell components that are minor, not expensive things, just a few random bits and bobs from here and there.
Yeah, everything costs you a little bit more than you think it should, but you can find everything. Saltmarsh has plenty of stuff.
Well, most of my stuff is natural, so it's like the particular kind of rock
Right.
or
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
twig,
easy.
that kind of thing.
You are very much able to find that. Yeah. All right. So unless there's anything that Sam and Yumi want to do,
I'm just
No, that would take too much time.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Vasha is looking through one of her like old books, and she's kind of like contemplating some spells that she's heard about. So she's like in thought right now. And then she's also kind of doing the same thing as Derek, where she's going around and collecting some components.
Yeah, Sam's just making sure he's got his axes and equipment, basically nothing extravagant at all.
I do have something perhaps towards the evening that just as where everyone's going into rest, and I assume we're staying in the same place.
Yeah,
prior to
yeah.
war. So Zhao would wait for everyone to return and just say, "Could I have a moment of your time, please, everyone? Just it won't take long. Just I suppose there's something I should admit. I do not do well with telling the truth. That has been my protection for a very long time, and I think what I might say, well, I fear that it would make you hate me for a while, but." And he's actually got the token that Yumi gave him on the table before him, and he's tapping it as he's saying this. But perhaps it might be worth letting you make that choice. rather than me forcing you to like me through illusions and lies. Ah, Lyra cursed me. Not good at telling the truth. Um, if you all remember, some time ago I gave you a challenge to guess how I lost my fingers. You were correct, Derek, when you said all options I gave you were lies. If you remember, one of them was that I had been caught dealing in slaves, smuggling them, and that I was punished with the removal of my fingers. That was a lie, yes. It was not a full lie, however. It was a half truth. This is hard for me to say. The sea princes, they are not well liked. They are not well regarded. They are pirates, thieves, slavers, and their branches are many and well hidden. This is hard. For a
How
time, I traded with them. It was not so much the officials that caught me and took my fingers. That was the lie. The other bit was not. The other bit was true. I did deal with such a trade, the smuggling of living cargo, as it were. And it is for that that I lost my fingers.
Living cargo?
Those being sold into slavery or being taken to their new bondages. I carried them beneath the notice of officials, of guards, of inspectors, and ensured they were not recovered.
How long did you do that?
2 years. Might be more. I don't know for certain the exact time, but at least 2 years.
Yumi leaves. Turns around, walks out the door.
I'm not surprised at that. I must admit, if any of you would like to leave, you're welcome to do so. I only ask that you don't try and end me just yet. I have things I must do first, and then, well, if you should take my life, you're free to.
I don't begrudge you your history, Jara. We all have things in our past that we've done that maybe we regret. That is, of course, assuming you regret the decisions you might have made.
Not fully, no.
Well,
I can regret what I
I
did.
appreciate the honesty. I know how difficult that is for you.
If I can say this, if anyone would like make an insight check on Jada, if that's okay with me saying so.
I feel like Vasha, because she's gotten so close, or she feels like she's gotten close to Jara, she's sitting here and she's wounded by hearing this, but she thought she knew him better, so she is trying to read him.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Here, that didn't. That hit him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because for Varsha, you've had a few blows where people you thought you knew may not have been exactly who you thought they were.
And so, like, especially for her, in her mind, she's like, not again. She got a 22. So that Jara.
He's telling a partial truth again. There's still some lie. He's purposely twisting the story to make it look worse than it is, to make you have an instinctive negative reaction to him.
Yeah, right when you said I don't feel bad, or I like when you kind of made it sound like you don't regret it or something like that.
That part was true.
that you don't regret it that you did
That
it.
you couldn't regret it fully. However, there's more to the story. He's just keeping.
Yeah, that I think that's what she kind of picked up on, that you're not, like, you kind of see her like you can tell she's like thinking on your words more.
If you would all like me to leave, I cannot obviously blame you. In fact, I'm glad to do so. Perhaps it
Ja,
would be
I think you have spent a long time weaving tales and stories and hiding things. And of course, you have your own secrets. We all do, and you are entitled to them. But I know that there are things that maybe you wish not to share or you can't share that are painting this picture in a different light. But just know that while I can't agree with what you've done in the past, um, like I can't condone smuggling living creatures against their will. I if I don't know what happened then. I don't know anything about this, but I do not wish you to leave. I feel like I've come to know a different side of you, someone who's worked to change things for the better right now. And I wish to keep getting to know you and seeing you change those past wrongs if they were wrong. I feel like maybe there's more to this story that you have yet to tell.
Following Sam's nodding along as Varsha's sort of in agreement with Varsha's expression there. And when she finishes, he just leans across the table and says to Jara in a sort of a firm, menacing tone, he said, just fix it with Yumi and just trails off. I'm quite
Yes.
willing to actually make that an intimidation check.
Absolutely. I was going to say absolutely do.
do so.
Yes, absolutely do. Against Jar, just make me a straight charisma roll.
That was 14.
Oof, okay.
Nat one.
Oh!
What they're saying is the perfect thing they need to say to him, so he would have failed it anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
You would have willingly failed that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I agree absolutely with Sam. You know how Yumi feels about this thing. You know how your words must have fallen on her ears and how she feels in her heart about this kind of issue. So you absolutely need to make this right with Yumi.
But now's not the time for that. I
I was
I don't-
hoping that you would react like that. I need her to hate me, to want me to go. I will not bring this upon her by having me present. Not after this. Not after
You're not
this.
going anywhere.
And why
I
do
know
you need
you-
us to
I know
hate
you're
you?
running, and we're not going to let that happen. You know, I don't like the games that you play. I don't like the webs that you weave. But that doesn't mean that I'm not willing to put the effort or the time in to be someone in your life. I think we've all spent enough time together. We've worked closely enough together now where you deserve more than that from us. And damn it, we deserve more than that from you. And at that point, I don't wait for a response. I get up and I follow out behind where Yumi was.
Mm-hmm. So Yumi and Derek have left the building.
Misscheduled, curse me. Curse me. Fine. You will not hate me, perhaps. The full truth will do so. Yes, indeed. Very well then. Sam, would you be willing to collect the other two then? I do not like this, but perhaps you are correct. Perhaps I finally should tell the truth for once in my life. Finally admit everything and not keep biting my tongue.
Yumi, while you walk off outside and you're the first person to leave and you walk off down the docks. Well, probably not down the docks. You're on the opposite side of town, but along the beachfront, you're actually quite close to where the carnival was held the other day. So in that sort of area. And a dwarven man approaches you. He is mostly like a dark brown hair and beard. You can see piercing pale green eyes peeking out from the mass of hair that seems to be the rest of him. And he approaches you quite jovially with a raised hand. Oh, I recognize you. Manistrad told me to look out for you in particular. She said you'd be the easiest to spot.
What do you want?
My name's Getterun. I'm gonna be your guide tomorrow. You know, in the mines. I'm gonna take you down there. I'm one of Manistrad's finest people, and he taps the badge that's the same as Manistrad's.
Good for you. What do you want now?
Oh, I just came over to introduce myself to you in particular. And he looks around and makes sure that there is nobody else around, which there's not. It's pushing midday, which is when everybody in Saltmarsh is out working. And he kind of shuffles up close to you. He's probably about waist height, maybe less on you, because you are very tall.
We take a couple steps back.
And he is very small. And he kind of just come on down here. Just down to my level, lassie. Come on down.
Can I insight check him first?
Yeah, you totally can.
What is happening? Hang on. I might have a hope. Nope, I do not. That's a 7.
Yeah. I mean, he's got the same badge that Manistrad wore, and he knows her by name, and he recognized you, and yeah, dude seems legit.
All right, fine. I'm very puzzled, but I take a knee.
He oh gosh, my thingy reset. He comes down to your level, and says, "How would you like to make a little extra coin and maybe earn some information?"
What kind of information?
And he lowers his voice even further. The kind you've been looking for. The kind you've been looking for, lassie.
I'm gonna grab him.
As you lean in to grab him, he takes something out of his pocket. It's a pouch that's that's wrapped up and over, and he dances back away from your grip and holds it up to you. I've got a job for you, and only you. And I'll show you what's in this pouch once you've done it. I've got information you need. I can prove my veracity, but you need to do something for me first. And he meets your eyes and is almost staring you down. He doesn't seem concerned about your size.
Let's hear it.
Make sure the rest of your party does not come out of those tunnels alive. And he takes the little wrapped parcel and drops it on the sand at your feet. You need to make a choice, lassie. And he begins to turn around and walk away down the sand.
I pick up the pouch and I open it.
Inside the pouch, you find a wrapped lock of hair that is familiar to you because it is the same color and texture as your own.
Doesn't make any sense, actually.
Oh, well, I didn't know the color of your siblings' hair. You recognize it as hair belonging to both of your siblings.
Oh, okay.
It's at this moment that Derek strolls up from behind you.
That you missed the dwarven boy. He is gone. The dwarven man has strolled off down the beach.
Yumi, are you alright?
That's not in character, by the way. I'm just laughing at the question. Yumi, are you all right? I don't respond. I'm just standing and staring into this pouch.
I totally misinterpret what your reaction is and assume that it's still about the conversation that happened inside the house rather than what's going on with the pouch. Because despite the fact that I see the pouch, it just doesn't register to me. And I say, Jara is a complicated man. He, much like many of us, he's done some things that kind of toe the line between the right and wrong of it. Unfortunately, he, he might have put more than a toe across the line. I would imagine that's why some of them got cut off. But I think if you're willing to put the work in, the rest of us will support you, and I think he wants redemption. It's probably going to be a difficult road. It's probably going to be tough for all of us. You, maybe most of all, even more than him, but I think he's proven that at his core, he's a good person. He just needs help finding his way back. And then I take out the totem that you gave me, and I kind of hold it out in front of me and so that you can see it. And I say, no one's ever given me anything before. My life has been somewhat solitary. Despite the fact that I've been surrounded by people, I haven't had a lot of opportunity to get close to anyone. Well, the four of you are the closest thing I've had to family in a very long time. I just want you to know that I'm here to help you if you need it, for whatever good that could be. And I slowly germinate the wood of this polar bear token, and it blooms with dogwood leaves and flowers that turn it white. I really appreciate what you did for me tonight. I just thought I needed to say that before things got worse than they already were.
I still don't say anything. I wrap up the pouch that was given to me and I tuck it into my things. And then I turn around and I head back towards the house.
I hope you know if Vasha was here, she would be bawling. Like, tears.
Not to make your decision any more complicated or anything, but...
Oh no, hang on, I'm not done yet. As soon as Yumi gets to the house, she opens the door, walks into the room where Jara was, still not saying anything. Is he still there?
You folks are we're at the tavern.
Alright, anyway.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, that all happened at the tavern.
Okay. So anyway, Yumi's gonna come back. Is Jara still at the table? Is he still there?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Walks straight up to him, grabs him by his shirt, and yanks him up so they're eye level.
How tall is Yumi again?
I'm 6'7".
So he's over a foot off the ground.
Yes, he is.
Jara is small.
He is.
I'm imagining you grabbing him by the scruff of the neck like a cat.
No. I'm just picking him up like a person.
Jara is 5'3". Just to
Oh.
put that out there.
Oh, her brother's taller than you, and he's 12.
Look, as
Jara
somebody
is-
who's 5'3", I get that a lot.
I am 5'2". I love to pick tall characters. I can imagine how nice it is.
Same.
Anyway, so
Yeah,
anyway, Yumi has picked him up, is
Yep.
holding him eye level, and then just says, "Did you know?"
Did I know what, Yumi?
When I told you that Nara and Ite were gone and that somebody had taken them, did you know?
I had suspicion. Why do you think I kept disappearing? I had to find out if how extensive the operations here were. I had to go outside, Yumi. Perhaps, yes. Yes, I suppose I should tell the truth for once in my life. No?
Oh no. No. We're staying here where I can see you, where I can keep you in right here.
You are in
Fine.
a public tavern at the moment, but because you're in kind of the dodgy one, the activities up to this point haven't really attracted much notice. But picking him up and like yelling at him, people are expecting there to be a bar fight, and they're kind of circling around, getting kind of excited. They like bar fights in this place.
Yeah, you just hear like Vasha in a very meek voice go, "Yumi?"
Not here, Yumi. And you can
People
ask
are
any
s-
question you want. Any question you want, I shall answer this one.
People are staring.
Hang on. Is it fair for me to ask Vasha to do a persuasion roll? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're trying to convince her to not do this, absolutely. I would do this persuasion checked with wisdom. They'll see if you have the wisdom to listen to Yumi. So Yumi make a wisdom roll, yeah, and Varsha make a persuasion roll.
I got a 20.
Am I adding a modifier to this?
Your wisdom modifier. Oh, what happened to my camera? There we go.
Okay.
Mhm.
This is gonna be interesting.
Yumi,
8.
Yumi, people are staring.
8?
8 total.
And she like puts a hand on like very gentle, but on like the hand that's not holding him up. She's like, Yumi, Yumi.
It's a difficult decision for you, and I'm gonna let you decide how Yumi's gonna respond to this. Varsha is extremely persuasive.
Yeah. Plus, she likes Vasha because she's very good natured and she's nice. And I'm gonna be honest, Yumi thinks she's really pretty. So. So yeah. But not before my necrotic shroud activates, because I've noticed in the crowd, I want them to get away.
And they do. As soon as that comes up, they're all just like, "Ooh, maybe not a bar fight. Maybe we don't want to bet on this one. Maybe we all want to just, go."
Don't come near the spooky smoke monster that's erupted in the bar.
Yeah, the 6'7" spooky smoke monster. Yeah, no,
And
they're
then,
gonna
like,
ignore that.
Vasha stands up and she stands up really tall, full height, ears stand up like on end, so they're really pointy now. And she looks at everybody, like all of the patrons of the bar, and she gets really narrow, like mom eyes, and she's like, "There is nothing to see here. Go back to drinking." And she even like takes out like a gold piece and flips it to like the bartender, and she's like, "Around for everybody." And then
Okay, I was gonna say make an intimidation or persuasion check, but the gold will do it.
okay, and then she's like, "Yumi, come on, let's go out. Let's go outside."
Okay, I set Jara down, and I keep my shroud up. It's gonna be up for the duration of the minute.
Yep.
She's like, "Your face is very striking right now. Let's go outside and maybe put your hood up."
And any question you want to ask, I will answer. Just not here. Same for everyone. Any question, I will answer. Just not here. Others can hear.
Oh, your Lancel, all right. I walk outside.
I'll immediately follow after.
Sam follows very closely behind Jara, making sure that there's no movement anywhere else other than following Yumi.
Vasha puts a hand on Jara's back and just kind of like pats it and rubs it as like she also like eyes everybody else and keeps like looking at everyone. She's like, just like walks out.
Yep.
You're supposed to go fight some upper hulks, right?
Oh, don't worry, I planned for this.
We'll get there. We fight our inner monsters too.
Okay, anyway, Yumi just goes outside, folds her arms, waits with all of her crazy shadow wings and glowing red eyes. Oh, which, by the way, her voice sounds really different when she's in this too. It's kind of crackly and echoey and very deep. It's meant, this entire form is meant to, like, strike the fear of God into you.
Yeah. Assuming we're somewhere private.
Yeah, you're kind of down by the seashore now, and the waves are mostly masking the sound of your voices. There's not many people around at all. There's really nobody around at this particular time. So yeah, you're quite private now.
As you guys approach, Derek is sitting on the beach, kind of cross-legged with his hand in his chin on his hands and his hands in his lap. And as you get closer, he's just kind of staring at the totem that's sitting in front of him on the beach and looking out into the waves.
So, it is not easy for me to tell the truth. I haven't done so for a very long time. I'm not too sure where best to begin, to be honest. So, ask your questions, any of you, and I shall answer truthfully this time. While I try and find where to begin.
You said you had suspicions. Why didn't you tell me them in the beginning, when you thought something was happening?
You ask the hard questions, don't you, Yumi? Everything, I guess. It is... I came to like you all. I haven't liked people for a long time. It was nice, you know, to think I had a family again, that I hadn't entirely lost it, that I hasn't cursed myself before the gods too much. And I grew... I am not a good person. I have never said I have been, and I grew selfish. I liked it too much, and when you revealed what you did, Yumi, I was scared to step forward. Even now, it is terrifying to me to cast away lies. They have been my protection for a long, long time, protection against hurt and other threats. But I couldn't step forward and say anything. I couldn't risk losing you all. And then when I finally
You're
could,
losing us now.
yes, and
Talk.
that was the
Stop
intent.
dancing.
Let me start at the very beginnings, and it is a bit of a distance, but you'll understand, I hope. I had a family once before all of you. They were friends. I journeyed with them, fought alongside them, did jobs with them, and I loved them. They were my family, where I had none. I had never had anyone until I met them. And I later found nothing hurts worse than biting your tongue and holding your silence. There were 5 of us, and one of us was better than all others. And Liera, she could light up the night sky like no one else, you know? She was magnificent, and me, who had never felt shame in my life, for the first time I looked upon her, and I hated who I was. And so I bit my tongue, I held my silence, and I said nothing. They watched as she found a life with another, and she had a beautiful daughter, Priscilla, my darling goddaughter, named me their guardian in case anything ever happened to them. And I was happy. They were happy. And it's not like I expected her to ever end up with me, just the lack of knowing, you know, what might have been if I'd just said something. It hurt. Especially as I watched the others. They also found families of their own outside of me. and eventually I was alone once more. And that hurt. So I left. And I was in a very, very dark place, willing to do anything I could to protect what was my family. And they were targeted. Slavers came for them, almost took my darling Priscilla. She was not even a year old and she was almost taken. So I decided to aid those who were looking to eliminate the Sea Princes. Their operations were many and many faceted. They were hidden and no one ever speaks of them. So we couldn't go the official channels. So many of us decided we had nothing left to lose. We decided to eradicate the darkness by delving into it. We became the things we hated. Slavers, killers, murderers. We became the very stain upon this reality, scum of the earth. And it worked. We were contacted and we were hired. And for every shipment of slaves we delivered, we grew one step closer. One step closer to finding that information and disbanding them. Many of us grew tired of this, and we would willingly go into slavery. We would work from the inside and break slaves with revolts and shatter shackles. Some of us kept to delivering slaves, however. And it worked, you know. That one branch of them, we managed to eradicate them on the day that we were going to tear their lair apart, take all information, and start working on freeing all the slaves that we had sentenced to such a horrific fate. I was found out. They decided they would punish me for being so quick-fingered as to steal their files and their information. For I couldn't read, I couldn't write. They had never stopped to think that they should have kept me away from them. So they began to take my fingers after, and he takes off one of his gloves after branding me a slave. I got free and I joined in the revolt. 200 lives were freed that day, and I am glad of that. But the amount that I sentenced in the meantime, in those 2 years, I cannot count them. I lost count a long time ago. Every name I remember, every name, every appearance, and I fought for a long time to track them down and free them. Only the more I worked, the more visible I became. And I ended up here, half dead, wounded, and struck by a fever I could not shake. I was born here, you know, Saltmarsh. It was fitting. I thought I came back to where I'd been born to die, far away from that family I'd made. Someone who deserved it. Only I lived. I lived when I should have died. So I decided to keep going. I had a duty. I had to see it through to the end. I suspected someone higher up was aiding the Sea Princes. They were too well hidden, too well rooted into here. And I started looking. And that is why I was suspicious, Shumi. You came to us with what you know. Because I had suspected something was occurring here. And you just proved it. But I was a coward. I told you, Vasha, if you remember, to harden your heart in times of need, to not let emotion dictate you, but to know when to let it go.
I remember.
Live like that for years is not living. And at the end, it is so very hard to let it go. So very hard to remember what it is like to feel. Only you reminded me all of that, all of you. and I couldn't lose it. But when you gave me this, Yomi, holding up the token, I had to tell you the truth. I had to point you in the right direction. But you did not deserve to be shackled with the likes of me. None of you did. So I thought I will make you hate me. I will make you hate me as I deserve. It is fitting after all. Fuck you all for making me tell the truth. I hate it. Lies have been a protection for a long time.
So I'm assuming that as he's winding down, it's been definitely a minute has passed. My shroud is dropped. I look
Yeah,
like
yeah.
myself.
It's been 10 minutes, literally. I've been timing it.
Yeah, it's been about 10 minutes. So, yes, your shroud dropped pretty quickly.
Yeah. As always, Yumi's face is blank. But tears have started to stream down her face.
I think
Just
that's. Yeah.
hasn't stopped.
Yeah. I think that's a delightful place for us to take a break.
Oh, wait, I'm not done.
You're not done? Okay.
Because there's just one simple thing that she's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
She just steps forwards and she hugs Jara.
Oh.
Yeah, Vasha has silent tears, and she just steps forward and hugs those two.
And she does have things to say, but we will do that after the break.
So with several members of the party enveloping Jara in a big hug, we're going to take a quick 10-minute break. I'll see you back here very soon. Hello, we are back from our break after our very dramatic send-off. During the break, a little bit of time has passed, and we are now at the next morning with our party heading off together towards the mines. It's not a grey day like the previous day. It's quite a nice day. It's sunny, warm, and you were all headed together down towards the mines to the east. It is about a 2-hour walk. And I believe there may still be some tensions within the party.
Are you still mad, Derek?
I suppose I'll get over it, but yes, it bothers me. It, I was the first to defend Jara, and I did so thinking that I understood where he was coming from. We we all have things that we're not proud of, but I didn't I didn't think that he was responsible for what he confessed to.
I I didn't think that of him either, but there is part of me that sees that very human drive to want to save your loved ones, um, but to do the evils by or to defeat the evils by doing the evils, they don't negate each other. But I don't know, he seems absolutely guilt ridden and torn up by it. I know that doesn't make it right, but
I wasn't I wasn't born to the sea. I wasn't I wasn't born in an area where a seafaring way of life is part of the normal day to day. I found it a little later on in my life than maybe many of us who are from this area did. The first time I saw the ocean, I was about 12, and it was the biggest thing that I'd ever seen. It was enormous. It was the size of it just paled everything that I'd ever experienced before in my life. And immediately I knew that I needed to see it. I needed to live it. I needed to be part of it. To me, given the way that I grew up and the place that I grew up, I mean, I had a mother, I had a father, but they couldn't provide. They were meager peasants. They had no money, they had no power, they had no influence. There was nothing that they could provide me with that was going to better my life beyond their station. The sea represented opportunity. It represented freedom in a way that was beyond anything that I could be provided in my own life on land. It still represents that to me today. So the idea that Jara could willfully take that away from other people, that he could subject them to a life of bondage, take away the only thing that makes them them, and erase them from any kind of life it's inconsolable to me.
Jara, are you in the vicinity to hear this? Are we all walking together?
I would assume so. I'm not trying to hide it from him.
There you go then.
Jara in the vicinity, yes.
He also has a ridiculous passive perception,
Yeah.
so he hears.
Yeah, he is unseen, but he is everything.
My question, though, you are right. The actions were wrong. Is there not any chance for redemption?
I don't think that's a question I can answer right now.
That's fair. Your feelings right now, though, they are valid. You are rightfully allowed to be angry. I feel for the people whose lives have been taken from them. I know I too feel a great connection to the ocean. I was born to it. It is massive, and I feel connected to it in ways I wish I could share with people that walk the land. But to know that others are not free to walk the land or swim the seas, that breaks my heart. So
You of all people, I would hope, would understand that the subjugation of others is beyond the pale. It's not.
It's wrong. Beyond wrong. It is one of the greatest acts of evil. But to work now to correct that, at the very least. If he is fighting against that, that is something. Should we ask him to die? Should we ask him to leave? Should we ask him to rot in a jail? Or should we ask him to fight those that now still continue these evil acts? While we might not be able to pass judgment on the acts he's done in the past, at least we can ask him to help us fight against those people. That is where my opinion lies at this time, at least. It's the only solace I can find at the moment.
I think the wound is too raw for me at the moment, and I don't know that I necessarily. Even I don't understand where my feelings lie with this. It'll take some time for me to sort those out, and I think, in the meantime, the good we've done together and the time we've spent as a group gives me pause in being so judgmental with Shara's past. For the moment, I don't see that I have a choice but to give him the opportunity for redemption, but I can't say that this is going to be something that's easy for me to forget.
And that is very fair, and I will respect your emotions. But perhaps we must take the advice that he once gave me and set our feelings aside and focus on the task ahead.
That's never been very easy for me.
Nor me. But we should be close to the mine now.
Indeed, you are approaching the entrance to the mine as a group, but kind of almost as a fractured group. Not everybody is walking together, it seems. And as you approach the front of the mine, Manistrad is there. There is quite a lot of activity around here. The mine is streaming with dwarves in and out, hauling out piles of rocks. Some of them split open to reveal precious metals and jewels inside. It seems like this is quite a rich mining operation for them. And by the entrance to the mine, you spy Manistrad, kind of squinting into the sun, like trying to figure out what time it is and if you're late. And as well as Manistrad is a dwarf that Yumi recognizes as Getarun, standing by her side.
Who's that guy?
As you approach, Manistrad kind of sees you, puts up her hand. Right, do come on. I had hoped you would have been here a little bit earlier. When I say morning, I do mean early morning. And it is probably only about 8 o'clock in the morning, so you're not really sure what she was. Maybe she expected you here at the crack of dawn, but it's pretty early by your definition. But she seems impatient.
It's sunrise, but
Everyone's just like, that's white. But she beckons you over and says, come on. Gederon has told me he's already introduced himself to you, Yumi. The rest of you, this is Gederon. He is one of my most competent employees. He knows the tunnels rather well, and has indeed been down there since the incident to confirm what my other employees have seen, and he will be able to guide you down there. It is a bit of a maze down in the tunnels, so you would do well to heed him.
This guy look like he can handle himself?
Roll me a perception check.
It's a natural 14 for a 29.
29, yeah. This guy is, he's built like a miner, so he's very strong. His day-to-day life, he probably began as a miner and quickly ascended the ranks through competency. He does look like he knows what he's doing. He has a mining pick in his belt on one side and an axe in his belt on the other. And he does have definitely an air of competency about him.
did Fasha pick up on when you said that? Did she say that Gederon, that Yumi had already met him?
Yes. Yeah, you would.
Okay.
She said that. She said, "Oh, you've already introduced yourself to Yumi, I believe, but the rest of you."
Okay,
So, yes.
so Vasha is going to note that and being like, how, like, that seems odd, but then she's like, moving on. We'll maybe talk about that. But okay, things seem to be in order. You feel confident, everyone?
Let's roll.
Manistrad kind of pats a large coin purse at her side. I will be waiting up here with your payment for your, what I'm sure is inevitable return.
You sound so
I'm
confident.
sure.
Well, many of our employees have been killed fighting these creatures, but you look fairly capable, so I have reasonable hopes. Wouldn't call them high, but that's the adventuring life, isn't it?
I would hate to disappoint you.
She is more than a little bit insufferable.
Yumi just shrugs. Accidents happen. Go.
And like Vasha like catches that too, and she's like, okay.
I kind of want to, but I'm wary of it coming across as too meta. So Alex, if you don't want me to say so, Jara, what's gone on? He would be very overly protective of the group, standing on the outskirts, definitely not
Yeah.
wanting to impose. But as kind of like as already said, kind of mother heading it in the extreme. So like anyone who approached the group is side-eyed, investigated, incited, and
Yeah.
judged.
Yeah.
Would you call him doing an insight on Gederon too meta?
Well, it's the first time he's met him, so what are you particularly looking for in terms of?
Anyone who approached, anyone new.
Yeah. But what are you looking to get out of the insight check? Yeah, like, because he hasn't really said anything to you except hello.
Yes. Anyone, how do I describe it? Kind of their approach towards the rest of the group. They're kind of, are they showing any sign of hostility?
Okay, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I'd say because you've never met Gederon before, you absolutely can.
Okay, I was wary of it being coming across too much,
Yeah,
so
no.
I thought best to check. That would be a insight of 23.
He is showing no hostility towards the group at all. He looks pretty chill, actually. He seems slightly more confident in your abilities than Manistrad does. But you would notice that he's dressed quite similarly to her. He's obviously quite high up in her organization.
Okay. And I assume similar attitudes for others around who might be nearby. No hostility.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my cat. She wants to stand directly in front of my TV, directly in front of my monitor, so I'm not looking at you all, I'm looking at her. That's her master plan every time I stream. So I'm just gonna sit here and pat her for a little while. But yeah, if anybody else is going to converse with Manastrad and Geteron, otherwise Geteron kind of hitches up his belt, tucks his long, big black beard into it, and sets off into the tunnel. And you notice that quite clearly that everybody, all the other miners, are moving out of his way and making a path for him. He is clearly quite well respected.
Cool. Sam immediately follows, just ready to go. But how tall is this tunnel? Who's going to need to duck?
Everybody over about 5 feet is going to need to duck. This is made for dwarves.
Yeah. Sam
Wait.
is ducking into the tunnel then.
How am I walking in here?
With great difficulty.
Oh. Okay.
Nope. Just for now.
Hello.
The best
I'm just
familiar.
going to walk up next to Getaran as I hunch over in the mine shaft.
Mm-hmm.
So, about how far is it to wherever it is we're going?
Geteron points down and says, not far by hiking standards, lad, but far. Maybe 2 or 3 hours straight down. And then 2 or 3 hours straight back up again. You're gonna get a workout.
I'm not worried about that.
What are you worried about?
Just the timing of things. It says,
Very vaguely. We worry not about the timing of things in our world. We are quite preoccupied with our own operation.
Vasha says, after you, Yumi.
Oh, I wanted to be in the back near Jara.
Does Yumi specifically say near Jara?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's making it clear. All right.
Jara would have been lagging towards the back, as is anyway, given distance. So of
She
these-
actually she motions for him as like, no, a little bit closer, please.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Fair enough. The tunnel entrance is quite low, and the first bit of the tunnel is quite low, but what you find as you progress is that it does widen up a little bit as shafts are coming in and branching out. They've had to make it tall enough to be able to hang lights as we go further in, because while dwarves are fine seeing in the dark, they need the light to be able to do the kind of precision investigations of the stone that they're keen on doing to speed things up in the mining operation. So Yumi, while the first bit of the tunnel where there's daylight is you kind of have to almost bend double, it does eventually open up a little bit, and you just have to be wary of the lights hanging from the ceiling to not knock your head on those. But otherwise you're probably about like an inch away from brushing the ceiling.
Yeah, I'd like to think like once every like minute or so you might just
Yeah. And there are shafts that drop downward that Geteron take you down, where you almost have to abseil down into the darkness. Patches where they're not actually mining are not lit. So who here doesn't have dark vision? I have a feeling it's just... I think you all do, don't you? Yeah. You've all got dark vision, so you can all see a bit. But you can all see a bit in these areas, but where it's not being mined, it's they haven't turned the lights on. And the further down you go, the more that this is the case. You pass a couple of areas of very hectic activity where something's been found. In fact, Jara and Derek, with your incredibly high passive perceptions, you spy down a side tunnel, 2 dwarves wrestling with the largest piece of gold vein in rock that you've ever seen. The nugget of gold would probably be about that big. And you see two dwarves carefully wrapping it and putting it into a cart. This is a very lucrative operation for them.
I turn to the group and say, we should have asked for 1,000 each.
Listen, I didn't want to press our luck. If she had continued to argue, I probably would have jacked it up just to annoy her. Ow!
Clunk.
I don't like this.
Especially since now you're in the dark, the lights that have been still hung here and are not lit are much harder to avoid.
Oh, by the way, I've braided my hair and it's like wrapped.
Yep. You're like, no dirt in the hair. Just, it is pretty grimy down here, and you're kicking up all sorts of dirt and dust and.
Yumi, do you want light?
It's not that I can't see, it's the fact that I'm gigantic.
Yeah, sometimes there's not even enough room for you to move out of the way, and you just have to accept that it's gonna that a light is just gonna drag on your head.
Yeah.
It's not the most comfortable place you've ever been in.
If you look, there's probably several just black marks around her forehead and on her cheeks, and she's just it's got nothing to do with seeing.
Yep.
I'm just tall.
Yumi is having a bad day. Right, a bad couple of days, really. It does take a couple of hours of descending, though. And in fact, Jara and Derek, I'll get everyone else to make me a perception check, but Jara and Derek, your passive perceptions are high enough for this to just happen for you. But I'll get everyone else to make me a perception check.
18.
19.
Mm-hmm.
9.
Okay. Yumi, you're a little bit distracted.
That makes sense.
Oh, buddy.
Ow!
Oh, buddy. Yumi, you're a little bit distracted having just walked into another light. But the rest of you hear just a very faint kind of clacking sound. And just as it begins to reach your ears, Geteran at the front of the party stops with a hand up, puts a finger to his lips, turns to the rest of you, and says, very, very quietly, "We're close. Keep it down. You want to take them unawares. If they see you first, it's over." And he kind of slinks back against the wall and points down the corridor.
What? Wait, why is that?
They're bloody fast and bloody hungry.
What? I can make it so they don't see us.
Geteran at this point is pushed against the wall and is shrugged and is just pointing down the corridor. He's not going any further. He's like, this is it. We're close.
Vasha, what are you trying to do?
Well, he said if they see us, it's over. I could just make them go blind.
Okay. Well, I'm going to cast Pass Without a Trace if we want to start there.
Well, I could cast blindness.
Okay. You do both.
Have that.
So I take out a small handful of ashes and a bit of a sprig of pine tree,
Mm-hmm.
and I rub the ashes around in my hand, and I gently blow a little bit of it on each of us, and cast Pass Without a Trace on the group.
Duly noted.
So can we backtrack 2 seconds as we're coming down these tunnels?
Mm-hmm.
Yumi would have been trying to cast Jara's Eye.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Would he have been responsive to that at all? She's trying to be subtly trying to get his attention.
Jara would have.
Oh, he'd notice.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Jara's, what is your passive perception again for the people playing along at home? What is your passive perception, Jara?
He doesn't have
It's
to do
28.
28. Right.
He doesn't have to do with noticing her. It has to do with actually coming over and
Yeah.
listening to her.
Yeah, exactly. He notices, but does he give a shit?
He probably wouldn't for the first couple of times, just trying to keep his head down and stay away. But if Yumi was persistent, he would eventually begrudgingly acquiesce.
Okay. So this when he's closer to her, she would have like stopped and let him catch up with her a little bit, and she probably would have tried as quietly as she could just tell him to take our guide's weapons. And I won't
If
say
we,
anything beyond just he's dangerous.
if we're in this moment, Jar will pull out a tiny bit of wire from one of his pockets,
Mhm.
just bring it to his mouth, and is he a threat to the group?
Oh, message.
Just
Yes.
hear that whisper. Eliminate
He asked
him
me to kill you all.
Do you want him eliminated or interrogated?
Perhaps both, but I think dead would just be faster and quicker and safer for everybody. I don't like being told what to do.
I can do it so he is dead before he knows,
Knew
or I can
something
keep
was
him
up.
alive. I can
I
keep him
This is
believe
alive.
with-
message, you guys.
Question.
I was gonna say, I believe with message, this is
Yeah.
just between Jara and Yumi.
Oh, sorry.
Just whispers
I don't know
into-
anything's up.
No.
Yeah. No, Yumi is telling him everything. Like he said, he had information. He gave me a pouch with Ite and Nara's hair in it. I'm fairly certain he won't tell me anything. So just kill him and get rid of him, and we can find out some other things later, probably.
So, on that, the wire again, this time to Vasher. Do not react, just I have a quick query for the safety of the group. Do you have ways to... I've heard clerics have a way to communicate with those that have passed.
Hmm. Not at this moment. But I could if we brought the body back with us tomorrow.
Jar
Maybe.
will take the response.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jar wouldn't do anything in response, he just nod to himself, put the wire away.
Okay. So I cast Pass Without a Trace.
Mm-hmm. As you're approaching the point,
Extra
yep.
sneaky.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, Jara, you can't get less than a 35 in stealth now.
Yep, yeah. True. Speaking of as it's being cast, are we about to immediately attack?
Yes, you
It's,
you are in the corridor, and you can kind of hear the clicking around you. It's very faint. Well, everybody except Yumi can. Yumi's like, wait, what? what are you all talking about? But everybody else is aware that there is something ahead.
We can't see anything yet, though.
You
can we?
cannot see anything yet. You are all just very perceptive individuals.
Okay.
Except Yumi.
I have a spell readied, but I'm holding off casting it. Just
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm.
But I assume roll stealth if we're going to approach.
Mm-hmm. If you are heading towards the sound, group stealth check.
Yeah, 35.
Yeah.
22.
20. Oh, wait, stealth. Hang on, I've got a modifier. 23.
23. Derek. 28. Yumi.
28.
Really? That's great. You
Yeah,
are
plus 10.
you are all silent as the grave as you file past Getaran, who has parked himself. He's kind of pushed himself back up against the wall, and is kind of almost huddling in a little crevasse, and is just like, off you go.
I do pause to
Mhm.
have a very quiet word with him,
Okay.
and I just say, "Where will you go after this?"
I'll go back up to work with Manistrad.
You're not going to stay.
In the tunnels? No. I mean, I'll wait for you to come back, or like not. But
Prefer for you to wait for us to come back.
oh yeah, I'll wait for you to come back. Obviously. I'm going to show you the way back up. I mean, unless you've memorized it.
Thank you. And I keep walking.
And he does kind of shoot you a wink.
I just smile, which
Yeah.
probably looks very interesting because I don't smile.
No. It's like, it's unsettling. Yeah, he's not a smart man. I did roll for that, and he's not a smart man.
I have to admit, Yumi hates him and the lady now. She's just like, wow, how naive and stupid do you think I am? I'm gonna freaking murder you all.
So you, as a group, are extremely stealthy, making your way down this darkened mine shaft. You can see around you now the detritus of discarded operations. You can see that people, the dwarves in their hurry to get out of here, have dropped picks and baskets and all sorts of tools. There's a headlamp that's been dropped and shattered on the ground. There's a broken lamp. It does seem like people left this area in a hurry, and it doesn't take you very long to round a bend and reach what was originally the end of the tunnel. So this is the deepest, darkest part of the mine that they were in the process of excavating and expanding. And you can see the tunnel where they've been excavating it has fallen open into another series of tunnels that do not look dwarven made, that do not look as though they have been worked. They look very rough and very raw, and it opens into a kind of almost small cavernous area. And I'll get everybody to make me an investigation check. Because it is very, very dark down here, and your dark vision, while good, is not perfect.
Got a 6.
7.
Got an 18.
Cool.
3.
Cool.
13.
You're quiet, but it's difficult to discern stuff down here. Jara with an 18, you kind of see a almost like a writhing mass of shapes at the far end of this cavern, probably about 60 feet from you.
I'll very quietly just whisper to the group and point this out. Okay.
Do you know how many there are?
I cannot make out a number, no.
You do not.
Do I still have those beads?
Mm-hmm. Sure do.
She's going to point down where Jara has pointed out to us, I'm assuming,
Mm-hmm.
and then take the bag out and like just hold it.
I have an idea. Oh, I can see down. I can cast a spell, or I can just send a sensor down the hall, and I can see what's down there. So there's no surprises. We could do that, or we could do the big boom.
Let's do your thing, then do Yumi's thing.
Yeah.
Sensor. Okay.
Mhm. What's happening to Adam?
He's really
Oh wow, I didn't notice it.
You were flickering in and out, and then you were just like gone. I was like, I can't say
Pass
I
without a
can't
trace.
say
That's just how it works.
IRL pass without a trace.
Wait, oh,
Oh my god. That's so great.
Okay. Okay, so since she's familiar with the tunnel vaguely because she's looking down it, you see her, like, her teal hair kind of starts to, like, flow a little bit like it's underwater as you see her eyes, not brightly, but they just kind of shimmer a little bit. And this invisible or this like very like faint sensor appears as part of the spell, and you see it is a it's a good it's a starfish. A flat starfish appears, and it's very beautiful. Like you guys can see that it's like this translucent blue and purple and like pink starfish that appears, and she says, "Istiri, go forth and show me what is in the hall." And this invisible sensor starts floating down the hall. And then her eyes kind of like go and they like mimic the color of the sensor, and the sensor like just goes invisible and it floats down the hall.
Okay. And you can see through it, I believe?
Yes, I can just see it. I can't hear anything. I just see.
Yeah.
And then she just sends it down the hall a ways.
So it goes down the hallway and through kind of the broken opening where the dwarves have broken through to somewhere else into the cavern and towards the shapes that Jara pointed out. And you find what you can see when the stone gets close are 3 kind of heavily plated, naturally plated creatures that are big and hulking and round with massive pincers and massive claws and massive pincers. There are 3 of them feeding on a creature that is very strange to look at. They're feeding on this long, kind of almost centipede-like creature, but it's huge. It's about that around. It's about an arm's width around, and they are feeding on the corpse of that. It's got kind of a reptilian snout at one end, and far too many legs.
Okay. Ugh.
And they are feeding on a corpse of that.
So the party can see Vasha's face is going. So just to clarify, this is a long tunnel that opens into like a cavern.
Yeah, it's the mining shaft that ends kind of where they were excavating, and where they were excavating has kind of fallen through into this cavern.
Oh, it's like a downward thing?
It's kind of a little bit downward and open.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
we wouldn't be like falling into anything.
No. It's just a slight difference in level. That this is they have almost accidentally broken through to something else.
Okay, and as she kind of looks up and around, all she can see is it like a big wide open thing?
It's quite wide open. Yeah, there's quite a lot of space in here. It's like it's a big natural, possibly a cavern, possibly part of a much larger tunnel.
She pushes the sensor. How far can I push it? Actually, I just get 10 minutes with it, and I can push it up to a mile.
Great.
So, she pushes it forth more through the cavern.
Yeah.
Is she seeing anything else?
Bones. There are some bones scattered around here. There's the corpses of several more of the plated creatures that look like they have also been partially eaten. It seems that cannibalism is not an issue for this species. But that's pretty much it. It looks like maybe this is the feeding ground or the living area for this pod of creatures.
Okay. She brings the sensor back to where the 3 are, and she gets really close and she looks at them. Like she's almost like got the sensor right up in their face, and they like, and so it's like up, like right in there, and like they have like big, like 2 pairs of massive claws.
Yeah, 2 massive claws and a pair of pincers.
Pincers, okay. And then you said a big, like,
hard shell. Yeah, they've got like this big hard shell. They're a bit insect-like. They are like great big insects.
Okay. And then I would imagine probably like this is when like the spell 10 minutes of her like searching around, unless there's anything else you want to tell me that I found.
So you spend a good 10 minutes getting the lay of the land in here, and then the spell just winks out.
Okay, and then she opens her eyes and they're normal colored. She goes, okay, that was gross. There are 3 of them. They are large, big pincers, like massive pincers, hard shell, and then are massive claws, and then big pincers here. And they're feasting on this corpse of this huge centipede, many legs. It's really gross. And then there's this big cavern behind them. and it looked empty except there was a lot of bones and especially corpses of other creatures just like them in there. So it seems like they eat themselves. And she's like whispering all of this, but she's like, so there's 3 that we have to deal with right now. And she's like, if I can get, oh crap. And she says, like, she thinks, she's like, I have to get within about 30 feet of them to blind them. I don't know.
I can distract them easily, well enough. Trust me on that.
Well,
Before we start planning, do any of you know anything about these things? Have you ever come into contact or read about them or heard about them? Do we know if they have any kind of vulnerabilities, resistances? Is there something?
Nature check.
Can it be with arguably with advantages? She's like greatly describing them.
Yeah. I would say
Or
none of you have encountered, since none of you have really been underground before. None of you have encountered them
that's true.
before. So
That's
you,
totally fair. Yeah.
yeah, it won't be at disadvantage. Let's put it that way.
Sure.
Okay.
Nope.
16.
Just
Nope.
Despite
I was gonna
being the
roll.
one that asked the question, I rolled a 24.
So you're kind of thinking this out loud. Did anybody else get above 20?
I can. Oh, I can't because I have a +0 modifier. So
You're like, that's not going to happen.
Like,
As you're kind of vocalizing this, Derek, your druidic knowledge of creatures and your collection of stories about creatures that you kind of you go out of your way to find. This does gel with what you've heard about a creature called an Umber Hulk, which is also what Manistrad called it. And you do recall stories about these creatures that they are extremely tough. It's very difficult to get through that hard exterior shell of theirs. And the other thing that you remember about them is that they don't necessarily need to see you to know where you are.
ugh.
Alright,
That
so
as creatures of the deep, dark depths, they have other ways.
right, so I'll kind of take a second as Vasha mentions that she's needs to be within 30 feet to blind them, and I'll say, if I was a creature that lived underground in dark tunnels and hunted, I don't know that I would necessarily need to see to be able to do that.
Okay.
So at this point, wait, actually, at this point, Jada's going to whisper under his breath, seeing we're about to attack. His ready spell, and the shadows are going to coalesce around him, and barely visible in the darkness, a long imitation of his saber is going to form in his hand, made of shadow, casting a blade.
I know Yumi would have just sort of pointed at the bag again, just like, are we still doing this?
Perhaps save it for the other one.
Okay. Alrighty then.
Accidents happen.
Shall we dance?
Let's
Let us go.
Okay.
I was going to charge in.
Yeah, your incredibly good stealth rolls made this. Definitely, you are gonna get the drop on them. As you run towards them, though, if you are not, are you trying to approach them stealthily? Is what I'm asking, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
like to.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna need another stealth check, and because Varsha took 10 minutes to look around, you will not have the pass without. How long is pass without a trace? It's an hour.
An hour.
So
yeah.
you do still have pass without a trace on it. So we'll need another group stealth check, and you're not just trying to move quietly at this point. You're trying to move without disturbing the rocks around you, without being able to alert these creatures that are used to the darkness.
And I add a little bit of a bless.
Bless.
So,
What's
Four.
that give us? 4?
D4.
so with Java not moving that round, he has 60 feet speed at the moment. So
Yeah.
he's trying to close in straight away.
Yeah, absolutely.
But stealth-wise, that would be
19.
45.
Oh my gosh, I've never heard that number on a check before.
Here's me thinking 31's pretty damn awesome.
22 for stealth.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
15.
You all managed to get quite close to them. I'm going to say it'll take your whole movement of this surprise round to get close to them. Jara, on the other hand, given that your stealth was 45 and you have a shitload of movement, being Tabaxi Rogue, yeah,
60
yeah,
feet.
you could just run up to him and stab if you like. So, I was actually, given that they're only probably about 30 feet away from you, everybody can make an attack and a surprise round before we roll initiative.
Okay. Would this be considered a full round of attacks? Just to double check.
Just an action.
So
Yeah,
Vasha
because they
says-
are very sensitive to this sort of thing.
Vasha says, wait, before anyone attacks, I want to try this first. And then she reaches out and you see like this chain of like dark crackling with like a little blue light hit, and she tries to banish one of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely. What do I have to do for that?
Make a charisma saving throw.
Yeah, these are not particularly charismatic creatures.
Oh.
It's a 17.
Ah, you don't beat me.
Level 15!
18 is
So
my spell save.
It just... So what does it look like? What does this look like? Banishment,
so
Jesus.
You see this like crackle hit it, and it just kind of like it just like infuses all over it, and just pop, and it's gone.
Yep.
And so if you banish the target to a harmless demi-plane, and it's incapacitated, so it remains there until the spell ends, and then it'll pop back like
1 minute.
yeah, it's just gone for up to a minute. So
Yep.
I'm just sitting here
Yep.
concentrating on that spell.
It's concentration. Okay, good to know.
Yep. So
Yep.
don't let it hit me.
Okay, Jara.
And then
I know
I'm
you
like
had something
stepping
ready.
back, like
Yeah.
Um,
You're like, done. But this is all going to happen quite simultaneously. So Jara, one of them, in fact, the one that you're about to stab, or whatever you're going to do to it, pops out of existence. But you are still within range and have plenty of movement.
Easily enough, then the blade of shadow comes through and there's a sight of murmur from Jara, and almost sickly green flames seem to erupt along its length as well. So it's a blade of black and green shadow and smoke as it lashes out towards one of them.
Mhm.
I assume we're in dim light or darkness.
Yes. It is
So it's
darkness.
advantage,
Yes.
which is good. That's a 25 to hit.
That does hit.
Okay, this I had advantage, so my sneak attack triggers, and bear with me, I have a lot of damage to roll.
You do. Sneak attack at level
they have-
15.
Do they have any resistances? So I can separate the damage if need be.
No. Nothing for you. Nothing for you.
I rolled it all as one then. So
Yeah.
7, 3 plus 3 plus 3, 5. Shit. Okay. Plus
Rogues,
5,
man.
So many dice.
plus 5, plus 6, plus 5, plus 4, plus 2. That's a total of 48 points of damage
Lovely. Good to know.
as it comes out. And you said we're only doing actions. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's everything.
Okay. Good to
So
know.
looks
That's
good.
a big
and
hit. It is still standing.
The one next to it
Mm-hmm.
takes 10 points of fire damage as this ethereal green flame
Yeah.
splits to the
Absolutely. Good to know.
That's my
Derek.
turn.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to cast a spell. Let's see. Okay, so I speak a word and make a hand movement, and you all see my skin turn to rock.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
not stone skin, though,
No?
as I cast Investiture of Stone on myself.
Ooh. Level 15.
Yeah.
You've got some fun stuff to play with.
green blade. Too excited.
Yes. Very exciting. Alright. Yumi. What would
Oh,
Yumi like to do as all of this? So you see one of them covered in blue crackling energy and wink out of existence. One of them, Jara finds a spot between its plating and absolutely Gets it with a flaming green attack. And Derek, his skin becomes stone-like. What are you doing in this instant?
Good question. 'Cause I don't know if I can rage quite yet. Can I?
I'd say probably not, because we're just getting an action off.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm gonna hit the one that Jara hit then, because might as well just start smacking them.
Yeah. In fact, you know what? May have opened up a chink in the armor for you.
Yeah, I like that. So surprise attack. Do I get advantage?
Given how high stealth everybody rolled, I'm gonna say no. They've got the tremor sense. So as soon as you get close, they know you're there. So I'm gonna say no advantage. But this is a free shot.
So that's a 22 to hit.
Yeah. Yeah, that hits.
All right, 22. And I gotta roll a d12. And I'm whacking him with my great axe. That's 7 points of damage.
Cool. And Samael.
Sam's actually gonna stay back for the time being, and how far away are they?
They were about 30 feet away when you began your approach.
So
They are as far as you like.
Basically, I move, so I'm about 30 feet away, within range of my javelin. So not going right up close, but going to aim for that same.
Yeah, so you kind of almost strafe around to the side in this cavern and.
Cool.
Yeah.
So let's see how well my aim is in the dark. That is 17.
Not quite. It connects. It connects, but it bounces off one of the tough insect-like plating on its hide. So, and now I need everyone to roll me initiative.
And that was my only javelin.
Do we still get the effect from Bless on initiative?
No, it was just a boop, like a one-time boop.
Got it.
Yep. Okay, 25 to 20.
I got more
20.
than
What?
that. 28.
Sure.
I have alert. I have
Yeah.
+10 to initiative.
Yeah, no, I should have. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
Why do we even need to show up?
28. Fair enough.
I mean that as kindly as possible.
Just send Jara in to kill everything. Vasha.
20.
20? Okay. 20 to 15.
19.
Yay. That's so good for Yumi.
Yeah. Thank goodness I have an advantage. My first roll was a 1.
Oh, 15 to 10.
12.
And Derek?
I got a 5.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
That's okay.
That's okay. You got yeah. It's interesting looking at Derek's versus Jara's initiative. Jara, that does mean you are up first, to absolutely nobody's surprise. You stab and then immediately react again.
In that case, I'm going to trust that the one that we've already injured is going to be dead soon. So instead, I'm going to dance around it to the other one that's so far barely been injured.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first time in a while, I'm going to feel my heart beat.
Mm-hmm.
Since I am a shadow sorcerer, for the first one, I'm using a sorcery point to reduce the casting time of an action to a bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
So again, green flame blade as a bonus action, so that's spectral green and black shadow blade.
Yep.
And then I follow it straight up with another action cast of green flame blade.
Yep.
So it'd be 2 attacks, which I roll now. I advantage because we're in darkness, so that would be a 19 on the first.
That just hits. Yep.
And the second, that's a 26 on the
Yep.
second.
That definitely hits.
Okay, I apologize for this. It's going to be a lot of dice again. I'm so sorry. So let's see. Okay, 7 plus 6 plus 4 plus 6. I'll sneak attack last. So plus 5 plus 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. Okay, and sneak attack now.
Mm-hmm. You don't have an ally within 5 feet of it.
I had advantage.
Ah,
because
yes.
It's the Shadow Blade.
Yep.
It gives me
Shadow Blade.
advantage in
Okay,
dark.
Shadow Blade gives you advantage. Yep.
I built Jara with this exact type of thing in mind. 'Cause he has the darkness spell.
Yes,
So-
because you knew you were getting to this level.
So
What's the
So
point
that
if you
is-
don't have toys?
that is a grand total of 73 points of damage.
Jeez.
Okay.
I didn't
It
realize
doesn't
how
look
powerful my
amazing,
unit is.
but it's still up.
Oh,
That's
They
That's my
are
turn.
these are tough bastards.
yeah. Well, I'm glad I banished one.
And you know what? It is their turn now. They rolled real high too.
I apologize. So
yeah.
the other one, the one that I didn't attack, the Green
Yes.
Flame Blade triggers, it takes splash damage.
Yes. So that takes 10, right?
So
No, you roll for it.
takes, well, so it'll be 9. So on the first one, it would take 12.
Mhm.
On the second one, it would take another 10, so 22 total.
Okay. It's looking a little crispy as well, but they are both still standing. They
Sorry about that,
are
I didn't realize how
they
much
are
damage you do.
tough. Yeah, it's I knew you would because I knew what you built him for, but these are tough beasties. It is the Umber Hulk's turn. And Jara, you have decimated them. You are a threat.
Bring
The
it
one
on.
that you've just stabbed is going to... Sorry, my cat has gotten behind my green, like into my green screen somehow, which has of course made my other cat lose its absolute... Okay. Please no Lion King while I'm streaming, thank you. But the Umber Hulk is going to... first of all, it's going to try and grab you with its big claws, and then it's going to try and bite you.
Okay.
Ooh, the claw attack is a natural 20.
Okay. It won't have any effect, but all the same, just because I'm having other attacks. Twisting my hands through the air, a quick sigil in before me, and I'm casting shield.
Mm-hmm. So...
That has no effect on.
Yep.
It don't affect that at all, but just for going forward.
Okay. So the natural 20 will still hit you, though?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But so I'll do the damage for that one first. Okay. That is 20 points of damage.
Nice.
Yep. And it is going to try and bite you now.
Okay.
That's not as good. That's a 14.
That will miss.
Yeah,
Bouncing off the shield.
especially with the shield, that'll miss. Yeah, so it does get it gets a big crunch in with its claw, and then trying to bite you, doesn't quite connect. The other one, is gonna go for Yumi because you are also right there. Same thing. It's gonna try and grab at you and then take a bite out of you. The grab, 22.
No, that doesn't hit. No, that hits me.
And 14 points of damage.
Okay.
As it crunches its claws into you and it's going to try and bite your head off now.
Ah, geez, math.
18,
That hits.
13 points of damage.
Just gotta make sure I keep track of all that.
Yeah, these are tough buggers. They are big. Alright. Vasha.
Vasha calls. Oh, okay. Jara, are you standing? Where is everybody standing? Who's standing right next to them?
That would be Jara and Yumi, I believe.
Okay. So what she's going to do is she's going to aim this spell as such that it'll happen so that it lands right behind them and
Yep.
encompasses just them, but not the friends.
Yeah.
But she is going to cast, and where did it go? Here it is. She's going to cast Ice Storm.
Mhm.
So I need them to, where is it? They need to make a dexterity saving throw.
I keep picking things that these creatures are not that good at. One of them is an 18, one of them is a 4.
So one of them saves and the
Mhm.
other one fails. So that's going to be So the way the spell looks is all of a sudden you just see like um, her teal hair actually turns like this deep dark like royal blue, and you see kind of like snowflakes start falling from the cave, and it's very bizarre. And then behind the creatures, this like big cylinder starts falling down, and then you just see like hard ice sheets just start pelting the creatures. And then they take, let's see, that's 5 bludgeoning damage. And then no, don't restart. 14 cold damage. So the one that failed will take the full, and then the one that will take half that succeeded. But then the storm turns the area into difficult terrain until my next turn.
Okay.
That is a 20-foot radius.
Yeah, but that's kind of behind them because
that's behind them.
Yeah. So if they're trying to run away, which that was fairly significant. And one of them does not look very good at all. One of them is, you can see that part of its exoskeleton is starting to flake off, and it's bleeding a kind of black gunk quite profusely. Yumi.
I realized I squandered my surprise action, but whatever, it's fine. I'm going to activate my Necrotic Shroud. It lasts for a minute, and they actually have to make a Charisma saving throw, I think.
These are not charismatic creatures. One of them is a 5, and one is a 15.
Okay, so the DC is 15.
Okay, meets it, beats it.
Okay.
That's generally how it goes. The defender has to meet the number.
Okay. All right. So one of them's frightened of me.
Cool. Good to know. It's frightened of you and in difficult terrain. That's good to know. I'm gonna say the one that's really badly damaged is frightened of you because it's on death's door.
Yeah. And then bonus action, I'm gonna rage.
Good call. So you shroud and rage. Samael.
How big are these from a technical standpoint? Are they large or large?
From a technical standpoint, they are large.
Fantastic. What Sam is going to do then is just move the normal 30 feet up, and using the wolf totem aspect that arrived with all this leveling up we've been doing. We'll use a bonus action to knock it prone, and then just go at it with the battle axe.
Oh shit. Is there a save against being knocked prone, or do you just get to do it?
Oh, hang on, let me check that. Whoa. Oh, no, I misread it. Sorry, I need to hit it first, then I will be able to. So let me do the hit first.
Yes, hit first. Which one are you going for? The very, very, very injured one, or the quite injured one?
No, given that it looks like the very, very injured one is going to take care of itself off into the ice storm, I'll go with the other one.
Yep. The quite injured one.
The quite injured one.
That is still quite injured.
So that is 22 to... That's mental arithmetic. Yes, 22 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
So he will be knocked prone, and then I will roll a d8 for damage.
Oof. Good to know.
So that is... It's a 6, not a 9. Because it's a d8. That's maths. That's 10, and it's knocked prone.
Okay, it looks not good, and it's lying there on its back with all of its legs in the air. Of which it only does have 4, but it's like clicking its mandibles and lying on its back, kind of like a turtle unable to get up.
Excellent.
Derek. Is there anything else you would like to do, Samael?
No, that's all I can do. Thank you, though.
Lovely. Derek.
Wow. All right. Wake up, Derek. So I will run up to the Umber Hulk that is now prone on the ground.
Yep.
And I will leap at it from a short distance. And while I am in the air, I will cast Primal Savagery as everyone
Yes.
sees me grow a ridiculous set of claws, and I will rake the hell out of this thing with my new and fantastic claws.
Lovely, do it.
It is an attack roll.
And it is at advantage because it is prone.
Cool. That's much better. Very much a hit. It's
Yep.
like 20 or something.
20 something. Yeah, when it's like over 20, you're just like, I'm just gonna.
So I do 3d10 acid damage to it.
That's a lot.
17 acid damage to it.
Yes. What does it look like as you acid slay this prone creature? You have killed
These,
it.
Claws that have developed on the ends of my hands sink through the outer shell, and you see as it's almost like alien spittle as it just melts through the outer shell, and you just see me start taking chunks of the meat from inside of this thing and
Oof.
just ripping it to shreds.
You are ripping it to shreds, and it is quite clearly very, very dead. Jara, there is one left visible, one that winked out of existence some seconds ago, but the one left in front of you doesn't look great.
Okay. I think I'll go and try and take that one out just in case. It looks like it's running, but the other one is invisible.
Yeah,
so
it started to try and skitter away, specifically from Yumi, but the ice storm is making it very difficult, and it's not really getting very far.
So that would be a 26 to hit.
That hits.
And I would need.
I feel mean for making you add this up because you have almost certainly killed it, but
I kind of want to see how much.
yeah,
Anyway.
you just want to see what how badly you overkill it.
Hey, he made the character. He has to do the math.
Exactly.
Yep. Not as good this time. 28.
Yeah,
What's it
no,
on?
that absolutely ends the creature. What does it look like?
Very almost gracefully, almost dancing, almost like at the fair only a little while ago. This blade in Joe's hand is just cutting and dicing this Umberhulk into shreds. Just the
Yeah.
green embers dancing and searing the flesh.
Okay, so you end up with two very, very shredded Umber Hulks in front of you, and
And bonus
around the
action-
corpse of this other creature.
And bonus action, I'm going to use the Inquisitive's Eye for Detail ability,
Mhm.
which means I can do a perception check to spot a hidden creature.
And there are none. You have killed them all. You know what? With that perception check, though, you look down at the creature that they had been eating, and you think to yourself, you're very, very glad that it was already dead when you got here, because that lizard-like snout is full of very, very, very sharp teeth, and it looks like it could hinge open its jaw like a snake and swallow you whole. So you have a moment. You don't see any other creatures in the area, but you have a moment to think of, ooh, glad that one's already dead.
In that case, under my breath as quietly as I can, since we're all pretty gathered up, I think, I'll just say, so we have one more to deal with, you're non-hidden, and we have a threat to our lives waiting to take us out back there.
We still have one awaiting us
Yes.
in the demiplane, which should be arriving just about.
And it pops back into existence as the banishment spell fades, and it's standing directly in front of you, and it is its go. It was right after Shara in the initiative order, so it's gonna go. Do you know what? It's gonna attack Vasha because
Yeah, that's
it
fair.
knows it's not a particularly intelligent creature, but it knows who did that to it.
Yeah.
It is going to
She
try
puts
and
her.
crunch and bite. Oh boy. It misses you with its claws. The claws swipe over your head, but that's a 22 on the bite.
That hits.
16 points of damage.
Okay, and it has to make a dex saving throw.
Oh. Well, it's a 3.
Okay, It's gonna take. Ooh, nice. It's gonna take 11 points of lightning damage.
So as it attacks you, it like crackles over.
Yeah.
With
yeah,
lightning.
it just like. Did it? Was it a claw or a bite?
It was a bite.
So as it like bites down on maybe like my arm or something, it just like sizzles with lightning up its jaw, and it like kind of like shocks it.
Yeah.
And I like just like kind of like grit my teeth as I like take the damage as well.
It is your turn. You get to exact some revenge on it.
16 damage. Okay, I'm just adding that in
Yeah.
there. So it's like biting down on me, and I'm a caster. I'm forgetting like how I can step away from this thing without. I don't have.
You cannot.
Wait, did I take Thunder Step? I don't think. I don't even know if I have that. That might have been my hag that I recently played.
There's so many characters, so little time.
I know. Okay. Well, I think then I have divine intervention. What are the? I can destructive wrath. Oh, you can use channel divinity to deal max damage instead of rolling. Can't I like? As clerics, I can strike with like a melee weapon.
Yes, you can. You probably do have a melee weapon. I would say
a mace or something.
Yeah, you probably have a mace on you, so you can give him a
also,
smack. Let me have a look at your character sheet.
Can I summon my spiritual weapon as a bonus action, or is that considered like?
I think it's a bonus action.
But would the spell itself be at disadvantage? I always forget with like casters. That's my one thing that I get confused on.
You can summon it as a bonus action, but I believe you need to use it as a bonus action. So if you summon it, you don't get to use it this turn.
I think you do.
Maybe, hang on. Let me have a look.
I'm pretty sure you do.
Yeah, no, you should be fine. It's not a ranged weapon, so...
Yeah, so I'll strike with my mace that I have.
Yep.
I never use these... Warhammer. I have a Warhammer. Okay.
Yes.
And then I'm going to use my channel divinity to deal max damage instead.
Perfect.
So that is going to be a d8 plus 1.
So roll to hit.
Oh yeah, that part.
Yeah, that part.
That is a 19.
That just hits him.
Okay, cool. So 19, and then that's 9 bludgeoning damage. And then I summon like this trident, the spectral trident that shows up. And that's my spell. And I think that is 2d. Oh, wait, I don't know at level 15. That's a lot higher damage. Let me find it real quick. Sorry, I'm taking long.
That is a-okay. I think it depends more on the level that you're casting it. So if you would like to cast it at a higher level, it'll do more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it at a higher level because this guy's beefy.
Yeah. So depending on what level you would like it, it can go up to 4. If you cast it with your 8th level spell slot, it'll do 4d8. If you cast 7th, it's 3.
6th level.
6th level is 3 as well.
Yeah, let's do that. Ooh, that was good. So 16 points of force damage.
Okay.
So she like kind of like gets bit, sizzles some lightning. She like kind of like pushes back with her
crunch.
She like boom, like the warhammer, and then like you see this trident come down and like smash him with like right into like the neck.
Cleric did a lot of damage. Yumi, you are raging. You have your shroud and you are raging.
So
do I need to make a save now that it's back?
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that.
I'd say I do. That's an 11.
Oh, he's frightened of me now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I forgot something. I have a reaction that I can do when I'm raging that can reduce damage to people I can see within 30 feet of me.
Good to know.
So
We cannot,
do that?
not retroactively,
I didn't
unfortunately.
think so, but I was like, someone remind me when somebody's getting smacked in front of me, please.
Now we know.
All right. Thank you. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna hit this guy, and let's see if I can hit him. I'm gonna use my great axe, and I gotta find my stuff. There it is. So that's a 25.
That hits.
Yeah.
That definitely hits.
It's a 25. Why do I keep rolling so? Okay, so that's. But I'm gonna dump my 15 points of necrotic damage into this thing too.
Yes.
So it's going to be 7 plus 15 is something.
23. 22.
Yeah, 22. All right, so 22. Oh, plus 3, 25.
Oh, okay. Yep, looks not good. Yep, this is you are carving through this creature.
Yeah, I think when Yumi uses that necrotic damage, she hasn't done this before actually. So
Mhm.
you just suddenly see like this surge of darkness just like rush down her arm and just sink
Yep.
into it.
It is frightened of you and very, very hurt. Is there anything else you would like to do?
Nope.
Samael.
Sam is going to draw both battle axes and follow Yumi's lead and just hack.
Hack, 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 hack.
Hack, 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 hack.
Roll me some damage.
So,
Well, some
roll your-
attack. Attack first. I'm
Join
getting
me.
ahead of myself.
Join me in the axe zone.
Alright. One of them that's a 9. So one of them is 18, and the other is 10, unfortunately.
The 18 hits.
Fantastic. It then does 8 damage.
Good to know. It is still standing, but only barely.
That's all my actions. So I'm all
Okay.
good.
Derek.
Same thing.
Same
Here we
thing.
go.
You turn to it and begin to chomp.
24 to hit
Yeah, that hits.
and 12 damage. 12 acid damage.
Oh boy. That is just enough. So again, after hacking through its hide and pulling bits off, your teammates have created an opening for you to just dive in with your claws and your teeth and tear out this thing's insides. It's gnarly.
I win again.
You win again. And as the final bits of meat fall back to the cave floor, you are out of initiative.
How
And you
does
have
alcohol
cleared.
taste?
Oh, not good. It's bad.
Stop
It's
eating everything.
it's
And
not
that's in
good.
character, by the way.
it's much worse than crocodile. It's much worse than Sahuagin. It's bad.
All right.
That's where the vomit from the back in the in where the place came from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Now
I'm
we
actually-
know. Now we know.
Yumi is actually going to smack the back of Derek's head, like, and just say in her necrotic shroud form, "Drop that!"
Drop
Not
it.
a dog.
I'm gonna treat you like one of you eat everything.
I don't mean to interrupt the festivities, but there is still a threat we have to deal with. It seems that our guide requested that our deaths be seen to.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh.
And I dropped my shroud.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Looking around,
Should-
do we see him anywhere?
should we just
You left him
see
back in the
there?
passageway, so he's a fair bit down the passageway. He didn't want to come. He was not interested in coming this close. He was going to direct you to the passageway and then say, "Go forth," I guess.
I have a quick-
Yeah, he's not in the area.
I have
Should
a
we
question.
perhaps act like
there-
our deaths have been brought forth? And she looks at her arm with all the blood spewing from it, and she's like, we could make it seem like Yumi has carried things out to.
Does anyone
Get
know
him.
Yumi out of here? Did anyone?
does.
I could very easily find our way out of here.
You think?
Because I can remove him and he can encounter an accident himself.
I wonder if it's not a possibility that we do exactly what Vasha said. I mean, so out of character, do we know why this guy is trying to kill us?
I'm
No, you
guessing.
may not know to tell you guys anything yet.
Yeah. Nope.
So why is this guy in character? So why is this guy trying to kill us?
No, he's not trying to kill you. He asked me to try to kill you all.
Oh.
Okay. So why did he ask you to try to kill us all?
I reach into my bag and I pull out the pouch with the 2 different colored hair pieces in them, and I show it to the group. And I said, he was holding this over my head. And, well, here's the thing. I don't like being told what to do. Especially by people who I could just otherwise murder with extreme vengeance. This is them!
I would assume that he is a part of the princes and is either responding to your inquiries, Yubi, or even my investigations. Could be both, who knows?
I'm starting to get the feeling that they really don't like me around here.
So we can play along, or I can remove him quite quickly and easily.
I was wondering if I could go out and pretend that I did everything, and you could just be probably right behind me.
I could, we could make it seem as though you have killed us. I mean, we can put blood all over us and.
Well, how icky am I anyway, considering I've been chopping away these umber holes?
Yeah, you're disgusting. You are covered in. But the problem is, they don't bleed red. They bleed black.
Okay.
I'm bleeding red.
Vasha is definitely bleeding.
Oh, hang
I
on.
have a
I can cast prestidigitation and make it look like if we all like lie in a pile, I can make it look like
Yeah.
some of us are bleeding or have been significantly injured at least.
I have a quick question for the DM.
Mhm.
Do you allow non-lethal damage when it's with a melee weapon? 'Cause that
Yes,
is an optional
absolutely.
rule.
Absolutely. If that's what you're trying to do, you can use the hilt of your sword or. Yeah,
In that
absolutely.
case, I can ensure his removal, but I can make sure it's not too bloody, as it were. That it is just. Well, he'd probably wake up with a concussion, a few broken bones, a few missing teeth, but he would be alive, and we can
I
question.
like that as a backup plan. I like
Hmm.
let's try to pretend
Just
and
it's
get this
just,
information out of
sorry.
him.
Yeah, I have an idea. Yumi points to the Umber Hulks and their lovely giant pincers and their claws, and she's just like, we could just do something to him and then do something else to him. As I'm pointing at the claws.
I have suffered their tender mercies. Hold up the hand with the missing fingers and the brand. I can easily recreate what they did to me and get information.
No, I would rather he die here. But
Okay.
information is nice.
Well, here's the thing. He potentially has information about your siblings. So maybe it would be beneficial if we got that information. And then also, we're not murderers. So maybe we should just question him if it comes to that. But it might be beneficial to have them think that we've been eliminated, but now maybe we have an in into their organization and we can learn some information that might be useful. I don't know.
So
That sounds
I
like a plan.
plan, but the one problem with us pretending to be dead beyond this cavern
Is that when we leave, we're. Oh, well, they'll all see us. Yeah.
well,
why
not just that, but also we don't get paid.
Oh.
I can hold on to the money
right.
for you.
I can.
She won't give you our
don't
share.
All the money for us.
I can
Okay,
talk
yeah.
about it, maybe.
Why don't we just interrogate him? Yeah.
Shall
And
I go
then
before he's
drop him
tempted
down a
to-
mine shaft.
We should just
Sure.
interrogate him. I can hold person. We could do that.
I'll be honest, I really want to hurt him though. He threatened you all. I really want to.
But
I would
I'm
kill
I'm
him.
going
Shara, Shara, violence is not always the answer.
It is for
I-
me.
Same
Okay.
here.
Here's I think this is the plan that I would propose is we make it look like we're dead and bring him in or Yumi, bring him.
Because he has to inspect our bodies.
Because he has to make sure that we're actually dead, right? So then he gives you the information willingly because you've done what he's asked.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Right.
we can do whatever we want with him.
No offense, Yumi. Just a general question. How well do you think you can convincingly lie to him?
Oh, I have an idea.
Do you
What
think
if-
you can pull this off?
I'm not entirely sure. I really don't like him. And I'm not good at hiding my feelings when it comes to that sort of thing. Well, kind of.
Okay. We're gonna dress you up in some blood. We're
Uh-huh.
gonna make us look dead.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna bring him in here to show us. Gonna try to get
Okay.
the information from him.
Uh-huh.
And then while I'm laying there, and
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna cast Hold Person after you've maybe gotten some information from him, and then we're gonna
Okay.
try to interrogate him, and then maybe there can be some punching to get some physical catharsis if that's what's needed. Should we start there?
Sure.
I love it.
Okay,
Easy.
blood. Here's blood.
Oh,
Make-
wait, hang on. What? Sam now has presentation. You can just turn everything on me red.
No, but I need to be like near you. If you're doing that, I can only.
Oh.
That's not really going to work.
It
It's only
looks
going
more
to
authentic this way, blood.
Yeah, it's only going to work on the three of us. Who
Oh,
are
and then she like takes some and she's like splatter.
You are now covered in Varsha's blood.
Yeah,
So
and then she
before-
takes some and she's like splatter for you, splatter for you.
Before
Everybody
that
gets a little bit of
happens,
Varsha blood.
Oh my goodness.
So I was like, this is not necessary.
Sam just like instantaneously, I clean the parts of the three of us who are intact of
Gosh,
Varsha.
it's like
Generous, but no, thank you.
Zara-
I'll prestidigitate some
Yeah,
theory
Yumi is like looking at.
on Darakar and myself.
I'm
Yeah.
covered in gore already. It just
Yeah.
doesn't have to be my gore.
Okay, she's like, now, everybody fall in a way that looks like you were fallen and wounded in battle. Or like, fall like slumped like
Drum.
up against a wall, or like, yeah.
So, Jara then is going to, very well, let's see if I can't do this. Sketch a quick sigil in the air, and is casting Disguise Self on himself.
Mhm.
But is making him look like arm is shattered, there's a massive wound along his side. He's making it look like a horrendous murder scene, essentially.
Yep.
Disguise Self.
Yep, because it's a spell, I'm gonna say go for it. You have disguised yourself as you but dead.
Vasha does it so that she is like, she's like a little bit down the hall. Like, there's like the main group of them,
Yep.
but he would have to walk up and inspect like the main group, and she's gonna be slumped against the wall, like she was the last to die.
Like she was
betrayed.
running. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she's slumped against the wall so that she can look up as he's inspecting and like getting information, and she can be like hold person.
Okay, yeah.
and,
So it puts herself a little
so
bit
he
further
doesn't
away.
see her like lift up and be like, nah.
Fair enough. Good to know. Good to know.
And Jara's going to have draw his actual sword instead of the illusory spell. So
Yeah,
give
yeah,
away
yeah.
the fact that he has the spell. He's holding his actual sword.
Okay, good to know.
I'll go over to one of the Umber Hulks and lay underneath one of the claws.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the idea.
Yeah. So Derek went down fighting the Umber Hawks.
I'm going to I'm gonna lay there, but with my eyes open so that I can still see what's going on, just like staring off into the distance.
Okay.
1,000-yard stare.
Yeah.
It's a macabre scene.
Yep.
Yeah, Yumi started to be like, this. I don't think I like this
This is a
idea.
lot.
And then she like Vasha looks up very seriously at Yumi and she goes, this is a very important time where you set your feelings aside and you set your mind to the task. She's like, I'm not kidding.
This
She's
is
like,
actually the
"We have-"
face that she makes. Like,
And she goes, conch shell.
oh my god. How did I? I'm just gonna go get him. Oh my god.
So Yumi goes off to go retrieve him.
We're all being like so extra right now.
Yeah.
She just shakes her head. You just hear just like Peller's grace as she's just bleeding.
Is Vasha able to give like guidance or something? Just so we
Oh yeah, she can just bless like.
Yes.
Oh,
Blair.
okay.
Blair.
Am I blessed?
You
You're
were
so
blessed.
blessed.
You were so
Yeah,
blessed. You're
like,
super blessed.
You're extra blessed, like just.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know. Considering that like Yumi is just constant poker face, I think like when she gets out of the tunnel, she just kind of like just shakes herself and just gets back to like normal like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna be sitting the way I'm dead, like.
Our best session ever.
So you go back into the tunnel, and walk back to where Geteron is still waiting for you, kind of leaned up in the wall, and he sees you approach and nobody else, and a smile.
I have my axe
Yeah.
slung over my shoulder and everything too.
Yeah, and a smile kind of slowly creeps over his face. Well, let's go see them then.
After you.
And he very quietly, surprisingly quietly for a big sturdy dwarf, makes his way down into the cavern where you fought the Umber Hawks. And I need everybody to make me a performance check.
Oh god. I should have given us bless. I give myself bless because I can touch myself.
Yeah. You're just like, ding.
Pretty sure I got a 12, but I gotta double check if I have a bonus.
Yeah.
18.
18?
Yeah.
12.
I got a 17.
17?
21.
Okay. This is the one that matters. 13. So, there is somebody who got a 12 though. So Derek, underneath the claw, you decided to keep your eyes open so you could like see what was going on, but oh my god, you've got a blank. You just
Yep.
No.
As soon as I said it, I thought of that. I was like,
you got a blank. And just out of sheer bad luck, as he's scanning the room, looking over your bodies, nodding in appreciation and admiration, passes over Jara, passes over Derek, just as you give in to the urge to blink. And Yumi, he turns on you and draws the axe at his side.
Hold.
Yeah, I had my axe over him, like
Yeah.
right over my shoulder, so I could just beat him in the head.
Okay.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
All right. 7.
Ah. Held.
Held. The person is held. And Yumi, you're gonna
Paralyzed.
smack him?
Would
No,
that
he's
break everything?
Paralyzed.
Yeah. All right. So, as soon as you see him draw it, Vasha, you cast the spell and he's paralyzed.
Okay. Yeah,
Any-
I hold when I was doing it, instead I dropped to my knee and I just smile at him.
He's just standing there with his sword out.
So
With his
Jara's
axe,
gonna-
with his little axe.
How
Jara's
stupid
gonna get
do you
up.
think I was?
As Yumi's saying that, rest the curve of his saber across his throat.
Mhm.
Vasha walks up and she takes the sword from his hand.
Yep.
Derek's gonna stand up there and he's gonna walk over and he's going to cast Cure Wounds at first level
On...
on what's his name? Geteran.
Yeah, Geteron is not injured, he's just
Oh,
paralyzed.
I thought Jara said he was slicing him with his sword.
Oh, I think he's
It's
just
just
threatening.
there. It's just there. It's
Oh.
like the threat.
Okay.
It's
The
flat-
threat
it's
of the
flat
slice.
the blade anyway.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
the edge, it's the saber, one edged. So
Get her in.
All right. Well, then I'll smack the sword into his throat and then cast Cure Wounds.
Okay. Yeah, so you do...
And I'll just look at him and say, "We
The,
can
doing
do
the
this
damage
all
doing the
night."
damage will break the paralysis.
Oh, it will.
No,
Never mind.
don't break my paralysis. Just leave it to me.
He can stay paralyzed. Then I will
get her in.
simply say, "We can kill you and heal you all day long."
And as you say that, you've got the magic swirling around your hand. Mm.
And nobody's going to hear you scream down here.
after all, accidents do
Intimidation
happen.
check. That was brutal. You know what? Group everybody,
yeah.
group intimidation check, please.
Yeah.
You are all being
Yumi
very
is-
scary.
Yumi is just standing there smiling at him, which is probably really interesting because she doesn't smile that often, even
Yeah.
though her teeth are very sharp.
Oh,
15.
19.
oh, buddy. Oh, buddy, you just give up this. Oh no.
Well, get it to focus.
We got a 20 and a 1. Okay, well they
Oh,
do.
I thought it was both ones, and I was like, no.
No, a 20 and a 1. Unfortunately, Derek, you just give off this, you'd give
You're
great... This vibe about, you'd probably give really good hugs.
You're like,
Too nice. Damn it.
I got a total of 26.
Yeah, as a party, though, as a whole, you were very, very scary right now. And you
The
can see
total
there's a
28.
shadow of kind of doubt crossing his features.
So,
And a bit of regret.
Your first mistake was telling me what to do. The second mistake was assuming I would murder all of these people who are my friends, who I believe have a higher chance of helping me than you probably ever could. So, you're going to tell me everything about where you got this hair now, and then you're going to spill the rest of your guts, either literally or vocally.
Or figuratively.
Nice. Tell him.
He's paralyzed. He can't say anything.
If you run,
Lower the
if you run,
powers.
I'll kill you.
I'm twisting the blade
okay.
down.
Actually,
Now I punch him.
no, hang on. No. Tie his hands behind his back and restrain him, and
Like-
then I'll like. So make sure he's secured at everything. Who's good at tying things? Like, Basha's. I mean, she lived on the sea, so she probably knows how to.
I can tie a knot.
Okay, tie a knot.
Okay.
Can you, Mr. Intimidating?
Likes to hug people, tie a knot.
Yeah.
I want that to be the conversation in character.
Yeah, we're just sitting there like.
Who can tie a knot? I'm just like,
Yeah. You're like, I'm Pacific. So you do tie a very good knot. I'm not going to make you roll for that because it's your job.
What am I, a mirage?
Yep.
But then
You don't have to roll for that one. But you do tie him up very, very tightly and efficiently.
And then she snaps her fingers, and the spell releases, and she's like,
And he immediately
"Now,
starts struggling.
you can
Oh,
struggle
no.
all you want, but it'll benefit you more if you start talking."
I'm going to talk. And you can see he's trying to almost reach around to get into his pocket almost.
No, he's like his little friend, and I'm actually just gonna like just jam my fingers into his mouth.
Oh!
So, we've
And
done this
I'm going
dance
to reach into
before.
the pocket.
Yeah. You pull out a little silver, kind of like a little silver tube with like a screw top on one end.
I'm going to back away from the group.
Mhm.
Just in case it's trapped in some way.
Mhm.
And go to try and open it.
It screws open very easily, and inside there's a little white capsule.
Oh, that's familiar looking.
It is.
Just
Seems
toss
you
it
won't be
onto the
taking me
ground.
way out this time.
And given how high your intimidation check was, he is not looking particularly happy right now. And he says to you, I'll talk. But
Just
you're
like,
gonna have to just kill me afterwards, please.
Oh,
Oh, hawk! Oh, hawk!
I still have my fingers in his mouth, and I'm actually holding his tongue.
Yeah. Oh, hawk! I'll talk!
Okay, and I let him go.
But you have to kill me afterwards.
Oh, was
Oh,
there any
I see.
doubt?
You have to. There is... You're on the wrong track. You really, really think the Sea Princes are the only threat in the region? Come on.
You know what I'm thinking, Yumi? We actually don't kill him afterwards. We simply take his tongue, take his fingers. We cannot communicate. And then we just let him go.
There are people out there who can do much worse than you.
Oh, yes, and we'll
And
let you run
that-
right back to them.
And that's why you're going to tell us everything. Otherwise, we are going to take you right to them.
And he looks over all of you. And his eyes keep sliding back to that little white capsule that Jara's got that he,
You want this? You want that?
I'm just
And-
going to drop it to the ground and crush it.
And with that, you can see that, like, all hope fades from his face. And he says, it doesn't matter what you do to me now. Anything they do will be much, much worse.
Okay, so stop dancing around and tell us who the they is.
The Scarlet Brotherhood. They're a bigger force in this town than anybody else. And if you think it's bad now, if you think it's hard to get work now, with the rest of the town against you, just you wait. You've made yourself a powerful enemy today when you could have made yourself a friend.
Oh, I
By
don't-
dying down here?
Why on earth? You see, here's the thing. You think I care?
But
I care about two things in this world. Their names are Ite and Nara, and that's about it.
They are
Right.
far from here.
Not for long. They're coming home with me.
But here's the thing. You sent us down here to do a task. We accomplished that. You wanted us to be killed down here.
Manistrad sent you down here.
Right. But how did we make an enemy in doing this?
Manistrad? She only cares about her mine. And I don't care about the rest of you. Yumi, you could have made a friend today.
I've
By
already got
killing
4 of them.
us?
I like my friends alive and the ones that I can trust and aren't horrible, awful people most of the time.
And he kind of shrugs. There's a look of resignation on his face. With the capsule being destroyed, he knows that either way now his life is forfeit. Either from you or from the people who sent him down here initially. And he kind of rolls his shoulders and says, "It would have been better for you if you'd have died down here, trust me."
Where are my kids?
I don't know. I never knew. They don't trust me with that information. I was going to send you to somebody else.
Who's somebody else?
Scarlet Brotherhood, City of Greyhawk. They know.
So you said they are here in this town. Who can I talk to here then?
Well, it was me. And that's what I had
So-
for you, Scarlet Brotherhood, City of Greyhawk. They've been taken. And they will be kept.
No, they won't.
Why'd they take these kids?
Aasimar
I
are
can-
powerful creatures.
I can tell you that. Why? Asimir, like you said, powerful creatures. They could speak to my mother. Direct line to Pelor.
You
That's a
thought the
powerful
sea
thing.
princes cared about such things. Trivial. And he shakes his head. It doesn't matter what you do to me now.
So all you're going to offer me was you.
I was going to offer you the name. But it doesn't matter now.
Well, you truly are useless. And then I smack him with my axe.
Oh,
What
okay.
is the
Like,
name?
with the flat of it, your axe, or...
Oh no, I'm chopping him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Roll to
no,
attack. Nope, roll to attack.
Kill me.
With advantage, because he's tied up.
That's a 20.
Yeah, that hits. Roll me damage.
Oh, 10 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah, he's a commoner, so yeah, that's you cleave his head off from his shoulders. And it thumps
And
to the
then-
ground.
Basha looks at Yumi and she goes, Yumi, he had a name.
Yeah, the Scarlet Brotherhood. That is it.
He
Literally.
said he had a name he could have given us that could have gotten us closer to your siblings.
The name was the Scarlet Brotherhood. That's all he was going to give me.
But he said a name that didn't matter anymore. He hadn't given it to us yet.
How far away from us is Greyhawk City?
A long way. A very, very long way. It's in a different kingdom.
When Jara was doing what he was doing with the Sea Princes, did he ever make any deliveries to Greyhawk?
Greyhawk is probably a little bit far. It's a very, very long way away.
Okay.
And at the moment it is mired in a war with the Emperor Ayuz, whose tiefling representative is in town. But yeah, that's the Kingdom of Greyhawk and City of Greyhawk is a long way away.
Okay.
Well, looks like we've got some traveling ahead of us.
I really never wanted to go back there.
Back
Okay.
there.
Greyhawk's stupid.
She says on the
funny.
Greyhawk channel.
Yeah.
Basha looks up and she goes, what do you think the chances are that we're gonna get paid now?
Oh, they're
we're
high.
just gonna tell her that he died fighting down here.
Yeah, the Umber Hulks, one of the Umber Hulks escaped. He died. The end.
Here, I can fix it, and I cast Primal Savagery again and just tear this dude to shreds.
Okay, here I can fix it. Hop. Yeah, absolutely. You tear him apart, and the axe wound, the decapitation by axe, is lost amongst the savagery.
Wait a minute. I have a thought. Vasha, you said you can speak with dead people?
You don't have a corpse anymore. You've got bits.
Oh no, what about it? His head was lopped off.
Oh,
Let
could
me-
we actually talk? Yeah, could we talk to the head?
Could you talk?
Yeah.
You'd have to find out. You would have to take it with you and find out.
Hang on.
Because we have gone a fair bit over time.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
There's nobody after us, so I don't care that much, but...
Let me just take a gander here.
I'm
Worth it,
sorry.
though.
I'm so sorry. Yumi just really wanted to kill him. The second anyone tells her what to do, she's like, I'm killing you.
So Jara's actually stood away from the group. At this point, walked away as soon as he saw this is happening, and he's just kind of muttering to himself, just under my breath. Just it's funny. I worked so long to try and fight the sea princes, and now there is another force.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Does he still have a mouth?
Yes.
The head.
Yeah, you beheaded him, and then the body was shredded, so I'm gonna say, yeah, it's still got a mouth.
All I need is a mouth.
I'm glad we got at least one real good t-shirt quote out of this session.
Oh God!
Vasha, all I need is a mouth.
No context needed.
Someone
Claire.
click that, please.
Cleric's man.
Cleric's man. Yeah.
Can we just bundle up that stupid head and get paid?
Vasha picks up the head and she's like, "Has anybody got like a cloak or something?"
Here you go.
Thank
And,
you.
kind of,
Wraps this up.
and you can keep it. I don't want it back.
I don't really want to keep it, but she like shoves it in a pack. She's like,
Mm. It's a dwarven head. It's mostly beard.
okay.
I'm sorry.
Every time she starts talking, she's like,
I'm imagining Mimir from God of War.
yeah, Mimir. Yeah.
I'm
He starts
watching that
talking, like telling stories as we're like walking, like, I once blah blah blah.
Oh God.
We'll use this later. Yep, and we can talk to it as long as it's 10 days. We
All
we have
right.
10 days
So
to have
you've
a
got
chat.
10 days.
So, it'll be some good company on the road. It'll be great.
Yep. Mhm.
So I think that's probably a good spot to leave it as you are
Just
heading
as I'm
back out
shoving
of the
head
mine.
in.
Derek is able to use his druidic talents to get you back out of the mine without your guide.
All I need is a mouse. Something big. Let's go.
Oh my god. And I think that's a good spot to leave it. Well done, everybody. We only went a little bit over time, which is perfect.
45 minutes.
Yeah, we're fine.
Only a little bit.
Yeah, there's nobody after us, so it's fine, really. That's what you get for taking the late split. But yes, well done, everybody. Thank you very much. Different session than I had envisioned, but I do plan for this sort of thing. If you had spent more time in the mines, the creature they were feasting on would not have been dead,
Oh,
and that would have been a little bit more of a battle. But there are many different ways to play D&D, and emotional drama is an extremely valid one. So thank you. I'm going to go around again. I am Alex, your DM. You can find me on Twitter at AlexCatu. My favorite moment from today has to be all you need is a mouth.
That's fair.
All I need is a mouth.
happy to provide that moment.
Yep, Jara, tell us a bit about yourself, where we can find you, and what your favorite moment was.
Hi. Okay. So hi, I'm Samuel. Because I can't be Sam because there's another Sam. Found on Twitter.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it. I'm in another game with another Sam. I'm just at this point. But yes, I can be found on Twitter as Eldritch Warlock, which is where I'll mostly tweet or retweet where I'll be appearing. Are we fine to plug some things quickly? So, is it fine to plug some? Yeah, okay. So let's see. I need to think now because it's late or very early for me. It's Friday today, so on Sundays on Very Rolls' Twitch channel at 3 p.m. Eastern, I'll be DMing the old myths with said other Sam. She plays a character in my game. On Mondays, I can be found on the RPG Lab at time zone conversions, 2 p.m. Eastern, for where I play another Tabaxi uh, called Janus in the company. That's on the RPG Labs Twitch channel. And next Thursday, back on Variant Rolls at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, there is session 2 of another game I'm DMing called A Haunted Whisper.
Lovely. What was your favourite moment from today?
Oh, thank you, favourite moment. It is very selfish of me, I think, but getting to do Java deciding I'm not lying anymore, go to tell the truth, is getting to be able to have that change in his character and also have him reveal kind of some of his motivation. I have to admit that's my favourite, just because it allowed me to, even in my head, flesh out this character even more.
Yeah, wonderful. Amber as Vasha, where can we find you? What was your favourite bit?
You can find me on Twitter at @4_DND. I am here with our sporadic Saltmarsh stories. But you can find me every week on Gratuitous RP. It's Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Central Time. But otherwise, I'm a DM and I post about that on my Twitter account. But my favorite moment for tonight was just all of the RP that we had, from the intense emotional reveal moments to the hysterical, can I identify that smell, and the mouth comment, and then to us like doing the whole, okay, you pretend to be dead and we'll lay like this and we'll like, I'll put the claw here.
So
and,
extra.
like, yeah, just like I loved all of those moments and I thought they were really great. And then I thought the way that you adjusted the encounters to make room for us to be that extra was
Be
really
extra.
nice.
Be as extra as you like.
It was awesome. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Adam.
Oh, I wasn't muted. Sweet. So I'm Adam. You can find me shitposting on Twitter at Adam Barnello. Yeah, that's about it. My favorite part of today was just the change from being some individual characters who play in the same kind of sandbox with each other into feeling like we have like a cohesive emotional group together. And it felt like we, even aside from the RP stuff where we're kind of sharing some of our backstories, it really felt like we finally like bonded together as a cohesive unit this time, despite the fact that some of us aren't particularly happy with each other. So yeah, it made me really proud to be on the stream. So thanks to all you guys.
Glad to hear it. And Dan and Sam.
Hi, you can find me on Twitter posting about everything on @ScaryDan. And I'm also on the Nerdy People Play D&D podcast at the moment in the Tales of the Old Margrave series. So check that out. And look, I mean, my favorite part of today was that everyone's already mentioned of it, but I really want to reflect that all that stuff coming together means, I mean, for me at least, playing with the four of you and Alex as DM, I think we just, yeah, with you all, you can't play that smoothly and entertainingly and have as much fun playing it unless you enjoy each other's company. And it's a pleasure being here with you all.
And Liz as Yumi.
Hello, my name's Liz Hirsch. I'm known as Ryu Red Wings all over the internet. This is the only stream I'm doing right now. However, I am one of the organizers for the Uncaged Live charity streams that are all put together for the Uncaged Anthology, and we're going to be having a stream actually very soon in September. So keep an eye out for that. There's going to be, as usual, we give out really cool prizes. We are probably mostly going to be trying to be supporting races. RAISES. It's a anti-ICE organization that basically puts together bail money for people who have been detained unlawfully by ICE. It's probably what we're going to be doing. So keep an eye out for that. We have a Twitter on Cage Live on Twitter. You can follow that Twitter and get all the news you want, or you can follow me. I also tweet a heck ton when we got something to talk about. But yeah, the only thing I have left to plug is my Patreon. You like art? Come look at my art. I'm redoing art. Patreon. It's super cool. It's on my pinned tweet. That's favorite moment. I'm very tired, so I'm just sort of rambling. Yeah, just the role play was amazing, and I've been waiting for the group to click. We have characters who are very they're very individualistic people, and it was just really amazing just to see that clicking happen, and for everyone to finally become that cohesive unit. And I'm so excited for the next session, and I'm so excited for so many things. But I do actually have to say, my favorite moment was actually when Yumi handed out the tokens, because I never would have imagined it would have spurned the reactions and just sort of the domino effect that they had. I never imagined ever that's what they were going to do, because they were for Yumi's sake entirely. She just wanted to make sure that we could find each other in bad situations, because that's her biggest thing right now. But it caused so many awesome things, and I'm just so excited and happy. We're friends!
What a fantastic moment to finish on. Thank you so much all for joining us. Do another quick plug of our Patreon and Twitch subscribers are the reason that we can do this. So please check out the Greyhawk channel Patreon, and please do subscribe to the channel if you can, because that is what keeps us going and provides all of these great role-playing moments for you. To my players, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. So quite soon. No more big gaps.
And you have to come because it's my birthday.
And it'll be your birthday. So it'll be birthday stream.
Level 20.
Level 20. So, yes, level 20 is where we'll be finishing this stream. So, yeah, this is great because you all get to pull out your big guns, and so do I. So.
Bring it. Do your worst.
Big fun. I love DMing high-level games. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us, and I will see you again in 2 weeks. Goodbye.
Bye.